What's up, everybody? You are tuned in to the Cristal
And Mal.
Podcast, episode 133. Big Energy Monday, heading into the New Year's. Hope everybody's having a good day. Hope everybody had a good Christmas, good
Mm-hmm.
weekend, good holidays, whatever you celebrate. Hope you guys had a good one with your family, your friends, and gearing up for 2025, man.
Yeah.
Before we get to 2025, we got some stuff in 2024 we got to discuss. Some topics: NBA, NFL, college football, and a few other things that we need to talk about today. But before we get into that, Maul, what's going on,
Man, not much, man. Excited to do the last episode of the year. Good year. It's been an interesting weekend for me, but say the least, I'm in good spirits, man. How you doing?
man? I'm good, man. I can't complain. You know,
That's good. That's good.
good day at work yesterday.
Is that
Just
right?
chill day. Nothing really
Chill day.
going on.
Wasn't too busy. Not even for
No,
the New Year's. Getting ready for
no,
New Year's. It wasn't busy.
not at all. I was chilling, brother.
You got big plans for New Year's Eve? I know
No, I
you
just
off.
be at the house watching football.
Watch that house flag football. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you. I gotta go to work tomorrow, so at least it's during the day. I ain't gotta be dealing with all the nice stuff. So.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. All right, player, man. Let's get into these games, man. Or get into the NBA first, should I say? We got some NBA news, and you are the NBA correspondent, so I wanted to get your opinion on some of these things. So let's go ahead and bring it up. NBA topics. The first one: Kings fire Mike Brown.
Yeah.
Now, this kind of came at a surprise for certain people in the NBA circles. Wasn't expecting this. We all know that De'Aaron Fox wanted to get up out of there, but we didn't expect the coach to get fired. But what were your thoughts when you heard Mike Brown get fired?
I was a little surprised. I know there's been a lot of conversations about what's been going on within the organization, especially involved around their star player De'Aaron Fox. Obviously it all kind of started with the offseason, where he didn't sign his contract extension. So it left a lot of people wondering what his future would be amongst the Kings organization. So, and then obviously they did have a bad loss in that game against the Detroit Pistons, where came back and lost the game. And De'Aaron Fox, made a let's be honest, he made an idiotic foul that gave the Detroit Pistons three free throws that ended up kind of winning the game. So, look, man, De'Aaron Fox has to own up to his mistakes. He's been a very inconsistent player. A lot of the players on that team have been very inconsistent. Some people even kind of question the signing of DeMar DeRozan, if that was the correct signing and correct place for him. And then it's just they haven't been able to feed off the success that they had the last years where they made the playoffs. So and especially the way they went about firing Mike Brown, it was pretty bush league. You know what I mean? Like, you have this man do an entire practice. You have this man have his media interviews, and then right before they board a plane to go play the Lakers, you fire the man. I think there's better ways to go about being more professional as far as, like, if you don't want the coach no more, meet him face to face. Don't give him a phone call. Don't give him all that. At least from the reports that I've seen. Now, I don't know if those got rebunked yet. If they did, I do apologize. But if that was the case, man, the Kings organization does not look really good in this moment. I'm sure Mike Brown will bounce back on his feet, getting an assistant coaching job and all that. But they're gonna have to answer a lot of questions. And De'Aaron Fox, he needs to make a decision whether he wants to be a part of this organization in the future, or just go ahead and ask for the trade. And obviously, it'll be kind of hard for them to do it before the trade deadline, especially with all the new bargaining agreements and how tough it is to trade players and max salaries and all that. But they can get a head start on it, and you'll be able to get moved this offseason. So especially before the draft. So they need to make these decisions quick. And De'Aaron Fox also needs to make a decision where he wants to go. And he also did sign with Clutch Sports. So that should be an interesting conversation as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't follow the Sacramento Kings that closely, but from what I'm hearing, that they could have handled this a lot better. As far as firing Mike Brown, they had a man go out there and do a press conference, and the practice is diabolical. And you could have did this right before all the press conference and practices. Just let him go. You know what I'm saying? Let him give him his walking papers, part their ways, and you have the assistant coach, whoever you're gonna assign is the interim coach, handle all the other stuff. So,
Mhm.
or you have the GM come out and say, we found it best for this organization right now. Part ways with Mike Brown right now, and moving forward, such and such will be our interim coach. So they could have did that, but you never understand what This is why some of these organizations are where they are, where other
True.
organizations are not. You
That's
know what
very
I'm saying?
true. That's
So
very true. Yeah.
it is what it is.
Hmm.
So, we've been hearing this rumors all through the off season to now, but Jimmy Butler trade rumors.
Hmm.
What are you hearing right now?
So it's kind of weird. Like you got Shams, he's kind of going battle tit for tit with the Miami Heat right now organizationally. Shams made a report stating that Jimmy Butler is ready to move on from the franchise. He's ready to be traded. He's not going to go out and demand a trade. He's not going to, be disrespectful about it. He's going to still be professional. Now, if the Heat decide to keep him, he's still going to be professional, play hard, because obviously he's looking for a big time contract, his last big time contract before obviously he starts considering retirement. I mean, he's in his mid 30s right now, so he probably has one good contract left in him. So I'm sure he's going to be on his best behavior. But you got reports, especially Pat Riley coming out saying that they're not going to trade him this year. Doesn't mean that they totally close the door, but they're kind of trying to conflict reports with Shams. But I'm gonna side with Shams though on this whole reporting. I do believe that Jimmy Butler probably definitely wants to get out, especially with the Heat not offering him a contract extension. I think it'll be good for the Miami Heat. I think they need a breath of fresh air. You see the player Tyler Hero; he's been playing pretty well. Obviously, you still got Bam. I think he is the cornerstone of that franchise. And then obviously, it's still not hard to get pieces. They're one of the top destinations amongst free agents as far as like getting players. So I know they've been kind of missing out as of late, but I still think Miami's in high regards of getting top free agents. So I do believe, I don't think Jimmy Butler gets traded by the trade deadline. Obviously, I kind of stated before with Darren Fox, it is a lot harder now to match salaries and stuff like that, unless a star player gets injured or something like that. The only two teams I could probably see him getting traded to, if the trades are able to happen, are the Denver Nuggets and possibly the Phoenix Suns if Bradley Beal is accepting of going to the Miami Heat. I don't know why he would not be accepting of going to Miami. You know what I mean? It is a great organization. We know it is rooted in Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra, and they are very well respected amongst the NBA ranks. And obviously, the destination isn't something a lot of people would complain about either. So those would be kind of the two destinations I would kind of see if it were to happen this before the trade deadline. But I really believe that Jimmy Butler would probably get traded. Or I think he can even opt out of his contract in the offseason. So I don't expect Jimmy Butler with the Heat by next year.
Okay. Yeah, we've been hearing that for a minute. Wait till it gets done before I believe it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Wait and see.
All right, man. And your Lakers just made a trade. Was it yesterday morning?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They traded D'Lo for Dorian Finley-Smith and Shake Milton. This is your team. You've been asking for them to trade D'Lo. They
Yeah.
finally got it. Are these the players that you wanted on this team?
Yeah, well, let me start off by saying I know I said a lot about D'Lo, but I do want to wish him best endeavors over in Brooklyn. He's reunited with the Brooklyn Nets. I wish him the best. I appreciate everything he's done for us, but it was about time. You know what I mean? The writing was on the wall. As far as this trade, I'm actually pretty pleased with it. We kept all of our first round picks. We traded a couple. I think we traded like 2 or 3 second round picks, which no one's really tripping about. Dorian Finney-Smith is one of the best 3-and-D players in the league. You know what I mean? He's shooting a high 44% from three-point range. I know everybody has this fear that the moment everybody puts a Lakers jersey on, they forget how to shoot. I think that's going to be different with Dorian Finney-Smith. He's one of the better 3-and-D guys. I'm really excited for him to be a part of this team. Some of the stats where he's one of the few that has guarded every single position on the court, from point guards, small forwards, centers, power forwards. You know what I mean? Name it, he's done it. He's a very athletic 3-and-D guy, big guy. So I'm really excited to see. And then look, I really like Shake Milton being added to. I was really surprised we got Shake Milton. I didn't know he was on the trading block. He, the game before he got traded, he has 16 points and 12 assists. This guy can shoot. He's a very athletic guard. I think he plays decent perimeter defense. I think this will definitely help. Like I could see a starting lineup of Austin Reeves, Max Christie, Dorian Finney, LeBron, and AD. I think that would be really good. Obviously, there's still another trade. I think possible that could happen. We still have our 3 first-round picks, so they may be looking for another big avenue kind of trade. But we'll see. I'm really pleased. I hope they play tomorrow. It seems like they're going to play tomorrow. I'm really pleased with the trade. I can't be mad at it. Finally, Rob Pelinka woke up and decided to do something for it. Then the new.
For sure. Does this take you guys over the hump that you need to get over?
I wouldn't say it takes us over the hump. Obviously, you got the likes of the OKC Thunder playing really well. They're the best team in the West. And but look, man, the West right now is kind of all muddied up right now. You know what I mean? You got the Denver Nuggets who've been kind of up and down. You got the Phoenix Suns that have been haven't been playing well. They're playing below 500 ball right now. You got the Dallas Mavericks who probably were the second or third best team in the West. Now they don't have Luka for the next month and some change. So we got to see how long he's going to be out and how much that affects that team. Minnesota seems like they've been playing pretty well, but I think we match up really nice against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Obviously, Ant Edwards is always going to be very, very dangerous, but I think we match up pretty well against that team, especially losing the likes of Karl Anthony Towns. AD doesn't really have to worry about that. And Rudy Gobert is not really much of anything to worry about in the playoffs. So, look, if we can stay healthy, I think we got a really good shot. If we could get Vando back, there's a couple other players that we potentially could get back. I think we have a really good shot of making some noise. Now, it all stems with health. LeBron's getting older, AD, he's walking and breaking his damn ankle. Hopefully, God bless AD. Hopefully he can stay healthy and all that. And hopefully we can find a way to get Vando. I know there's rumors that he'd be ready by January. It's about time, We've all been questioning what's going on with Vando. He's a big key piece, especially on the defensive end. So if we add Vando and Dorian Finney-Smith, I think that really solves a lot of our defensive problems. Max Christie's game has elevated. Obviously Don Connect, offensively, but Max Christie being a great perimeter defender, he's been guarding some of the best guys in the last 2 weeks. We've been rated one of the best defenses in the league. So I'm really excited to see how this goes. Now, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and slam the door and say we're going to be NBA champions, but I'm really excited to see where we go from here and just kind of the overall development, what JJ Redick has playing with some of these players and the rotations and all that. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait. We play the Cleveland Cavaliers, a big game tomorrow. So obviously, I'm not expecting everything to click right away, but I'm excited to see what it looks like on the court. So hopefully these guys get on the court tomorrow and LeBron plays tomorrow and hopefully we can pull out a surprising win against one of the top Eastern teams in the Cleveland Cavaliers.
For sure. My guy JD said, yeah, buddy. So he seems like he's excited for the trade for the Lakers. And he said he was a little surprised at the trade too.
Yeah, me too, a little bit. Because there were rumors that the Memphis Grizzlies were going hard for Dorian Finney-Smith, but to wake up to that news, I said I'm excited. I'm sorry, we didn't really trade the farm. Like we traded D'Lo and some second round picks. I'm not mad. And Max Lewis, shout outs to Max Lewis. I really liked his game, being up and coming, very athletic guard. But look, those guys are going to get a lot more playing time with the Brooklyn Nets, especially Max Lewis. But I said, if you're a Laker fan, you have nothing but to be optimistic about this trade. There's nothing bad about this trade at all. There's nothing you can say bad about this trade.
For sure. All right, man. Let's get into some college football, man. We got round 2 starting off tomorrow night with Penn State.
Good game tomorrow.
Penn State and Boise State. Let me pull this up. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. So yeah, man, we got Tuesday and Wednesday. It's all about college football, man. So tomorrow we got Penn State at Boise State, and then on Wednesday for New Year's Day, we got Texas, Arizona State. We got Ohio State and Oregon. That's gonna be the afternoon game, and then the night game will be Notre Dame at Georgia. How you feeling? What you looking at? What's the game that you're hyped for the most?
I think the number one game has to be Ohio State, Oregon. That's going to be that could have potentially been the national championship game if they would have did the reseeding. But obviously we're going to get it this week. So, we got to appreciate this game, man. This is going to be in Pasadena, California. Rose Bowl. I think the Rose Bowl is probably one of the more aesthetically pleasing football games to watch to me. You know what I mean? Just with the atmosphere of that, you know what I mean? The stadium half and half, you know what I mean? The blue skies of LA, man. It's a beautiful game to watch to me aesthetically. I think it's amazing game to watch. It's one of my favorite games to watch on New Year's Eve, so or New Year's Day. So yeah, definitely. I'm really looking forward to that game. But look, man, I think we're gonna get a lot more better games than what we did in the first round. I really do believe that. Some people believe we're gonna get another slate of blowouts minus the Ohio State Oregon game, but and maybe the Notre Dame Georgia. But I really believe Penn State and Boise State is gonna be a very interesting battle. I think we're gonna see kind of how great is Ashton Genty. I'm really curious to see how great he is because he's going against a prominent rushing defense. You know what I mean? I think they're rated top 5 in the nation. If I'm mistaken, if I'm wrong, I do apologize. But
Yeah.
look, man, this is going to be a very interesting matchup. And then Texas and the Arizona State. Look, man, Texas is definitely the more talented team. I think me and you both can honestly say that. But
Yeah.
we have seen Texas give up some interesting scores, man. You know what I mean? It's not like they're in, impenetrable. Like this Arizona State team is a very explosive offensive team. You got Scatterboo, the most interesting last name of a running back I've ever seen. But
Yeah.
yo, my man is a dog, as Pat McAfee would say. Man, he's a dog, man. He's a very explosive back, and we saw that in the Big 12 championship game. So I think all these games are going to be very interesting. I do think Notre Dame, if I pick any blowout, I think it's going to be Notre Dame against Georgia. I know Georgia is a talented team, but with that backup quarterback, I think Notre Dame, I think they're ready, especially some of the losses. Like one of their biggest losses in the college football game came from Georgia. And I don't think they ever forgot that. I know these are a new slate of players. They didn't play in that game, but history always trickles down to the new players. And, they're going to hear from the media, their fan base. Notre Dame wants this win. Everybody wants to beat the SEC. And Georgia has been the face of the SEC for the last couple of years. So I know Notre Dame's going to be highly motivated. I do think they do have the better team, the better quarterback that I do trust. Now, I could get surprised, and this backup quarterback from Georgia could just be the next thing, like kind of like, how Jalen Hurts in the Tua situation. We all found out Tua was the better quarterback. So, look, man, I'm excited for all of them. So are we making our picks today? Are we making our picks?
Yeah, because by the time we do the show, we do the show on
Oh, okay.
Wednesday.
Well, I'll let you
The
give
game,
us your thoughts before we make the picks.
the games are going to be going
Yeah, I
on,
know.
or
Make
they're
your
going to
thoughts
be
before
done.
we get the picks. Yeah.
Well, I start at the top of the bracket, the Texas and Arizona State. Look, I think Arizona State does belong here. They had a great season, but I just think Texas is just too talented. Arizona State, they don't have their best receiver. He's out for the remainder of the season. So
Oh, he
that's
is. Oh, he's not
yeah,
playing. Oh, okay.
he's
Yeah,
not
that
playing at
that
all.
changes things.
Yeah,
Never mind.
yeah,
Never mind.
yeah.
I was not made aware of that.
Yeah, I looked it up. He's out for the rest of the season. So,
Sucks.
I think he had a hip injury or something like that. But
Got it.
yeah, so Texas just they stack 8 in the box and stop Scatterboo. It's like I don't think it's gonna be pretty. Now, Quinn Evers, if he has one of his bad games and he's throwing bad picks or whatever like that and keeping Arizona State in the game, then it could get interesting. But
Mhm.
I think Sarkeesian has these boys. They know what's at hand right now, and they know that the national champ. They're just 2 games away from the national championship.
Yeah.
So I think this is gonna be the biggest blow out of the weekend. Is this game right here? Probably the second one because I got another one that's probably gonna be a blowout too. But and then you got the afternoon game, Ohio State, Oregon. I think this is gonna be the best game of the week. I think it's going to be back and forth. I think it's going to be just like the first game, but I think Ohio State's going to come out on top on this one. I just do. I think that I know. I think that they're motivated. I think the Michigan loss put blood in their mouth that they didn't want to have, and you could tell by them what they did to what they did to Tennessee. I'm not saying they're going to do that to Oregon, but I do think that they're going to be more highly motivated, and I think they pull it off against Oregon. And then Penn State, Boise tomorrow. This is the other game where I just don't think Boise has. I know Penn State and their big game woes, but one thing I will say about Penn State is they beat teams that are inferior to them. It's the big games against other good teams that they lose. I just think Penn State is Ashton Genty, and that's it. Now, if this quarterback can come out and have a half like he had against UNLV, then they got a chance. but I don't see it. I think they're gonna contain Genty, and Penn State is gonna be a little bit too much for Boise State. And then what brings me to Notre Dame and Georgia. Georgia's going off of backup quarterback. Now look, this backup quarterback can make a name for himself, and he could be a hero and take them to the semifinals. And we be talking about Georgia. And Georgia got the defense to keep them in the game. We all know that they got first round picks across the board. But I just think this is Notre Dame's year. We both picked Notre Dame to win the national championship this year. So I just think that defense is going to be rolling. I think they're going to. I think the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame is just going to throw the kitchen sink at this backup, and I think they're going to beat them by probably by a touchdown. I got Notre Dame by a touchdown.
Yeah, I agree with you on a couple. Notre Dame, Georgia. I got Notre Dame winning. I just think I got to see it to believe it with this backup quarterback. Not saying Georgia doesn't have the talent, but I also have seen Georgia play inconsistent football. They got a squad, but for some reason, this is a very inconsistent team. And I think Notre Dame has just been playing really, really good football, and we saw it in Indiana. And then they're very familiar with New Orleans. I think they played there before. Penn State, Boise State. Look, man, we seen Boise State play in Arizona and beat Oklahoma back in the day. we saw the proposal and all that.
Yeah.
Look, I agree with you. I think Penn State is very talented, but I think this game is going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think. That's a fast track. Ashton Denty is a very, very talented running back. I think we're going to see it. I'm not saying he's going to go off for 200 or anything like that, but I do think this is going to be a really, really close game. I wouldn't be surprised if this came down to the wire. You know, we all know Penn State's offense is very inconsistent. They even started out slow against SMU. If a couple bounces here and there go a different way, I think that game is a little bit different. I still think Penn State wins that game, but I think it could be a little bit closer. Right. But I have Penn State winning this, but I think this is a 7 or less game. I really do believe that. I was really pleasantly surprised by that Boise State quarterback and the way he played against UNLV. Mm-hmm. He dominated. I think he was the main reason that Boise State won that game. He really was. Yeah. He showed his athletic ability. He showed his arm strength, especially in that cold weather. And if he could play like that with Ashton Genty, I think that helps Ashton Genty in the lanes because Penn State's going to have to respect that. And we have seen Penn State's back line get exposed from time to time. Like they're not like they have some nice players, but they do get exposed from time to time. I think SMU kind of did that until the quarterback just kind of like flailed out. Jenny's confidence just shot down after that first couple drives. So I do have Penn State winning close. Ohio State, Oregon. I got Oregon winning, man. I just think Oregon's the better team. I know Ohio State is very, very talented. They do have some young, talented guys. But look, man, I get it. Ohio State's coming off a massive win against Tennessee. But when you really look at this Tennessee team, me and you both said it, they're a very, very young team. The advantages of playing in the horseshoe was very, very obvious. Oregon is not scared of Ohio State. They went and beat them before, and they're I get it at home. I think this is going to be another. I think Ohio State definitely travels. I think this could be like a 60-40, maybe even 50-50 type of atmosphere. But I got Oregon winning. I really do. I think Ohio State has shown struggles playing in the Rose Bowl from time to time. I got Oregon winning. I just think Oregon's going to win. I don't trust Ohio State's quarterback at all. I know he played well, but I think Oregon's going to win that game. I really do. And then Texas, Arizona State, I was not familiar of what you kind of told me about their starting receiver. So that does change my philosophy now. Yeah, I got Texas winning, and I do think this is a blowout unless Scatterboo goes off again like what he did in his conference championship game. But yeah, I got Texas. Yeah, I do. And we have seen Quinn Ewers play down to his competition before, so we got to see. But Texas should win.
Yeah, man. But should be a good couple of days, man, of football. For sure.
Yeah, man. Like, it's crazy when you look at this bracket, man. That top bracket is just insane, bro. Because the winner of Ohio State, Oregon, is probably gonna have to play Texas, and that I'm like, bro, Oregon got it bad, bro.
Yeah, they do. They do. All right, man. Hate to bring the mood down, people. We gotta talk about this. Batman 2.
Yeah.
After we're coming off of a great series, Penguin. Got everybody excited. They're supposed to leave off right into Batman 2. Mm-hmm. And now we got the news that it's been delayed one more year to 2027. We will not be getting the Batman 2 until October. Not the top of 2027. The bottom. October, which will probably be considered the fourth quarter of 2027. We're not getting Batman 2. What is going on over there in DC? James Gunn, what y'all doing over there, man?
Well, he said it's because it's an unfinished script, but I thought they finished the script. But the
That's
reports are saying that he's saying that the script still isn't finished, and that they won't start filming until the end of 2025 now. So, um, yeah, I'm disappointed. I like, look, I get it.
well then Matt Reeves, my bad, not to cut you off. Matt Reeves, what y'all over there doing, man?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. Like it is really disappointing. Like I know he kind of made comments about like, look, Terminator 2, I think took what 5 to 7 years before they got their remake and a couple other movies. So I understand, but in the world of today and how much just there's just so much going on as far as like the value of movies and entertainment and stuff like that. It could get lost in the sauce, especially coming off the hype of the first Batman and Penguin. um I don't know, man. Like I get it. Like I want this movie to be really, really great. So like if it's gonna be delayed and it's gonna turn out to be the best Batman ever, then cool. But it just still sucks because the Batman, especially in this universe, has just been so excellent up until now. Like it sucks that it's hitting a snag, and some people might get turned off by that. But I guess we're gonna have to wait till 2027. It's just something that we're gonna have to accept. And what I mean, they were talking about Clayface potentially getting dropped like a couple months before Batman 2. So I don't know, maybe if that was also one of the reasons into them pushing Batman 2.
But but the problem with that Clayface had nothing to do with this
I
version.
know, I know. I'm just going by what I've been reading in reports, you know what I mean? Because there was been kind of some conversations of should they, shouldn't they, you know what I mean? And then obviously,
Here,
they came out and said like, no, like that's not going to affect where we place Batman at, you know what I mean? As far as like release date.
here's what scares me about this whole situation is that okay. So now you got Matt Reeves and he has his own universe with Batman and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But then you got James Gunn. He's pretty much like the DCU. Like Matt Reeves has nothing to do with the DCU. It's just this is Matt Reeves' project. He's off to the side doing his thing with the Robert Pattinson Batman, his cast of characters. It's a more grounded Batman. So he's over there. You know what I'm saying? And then you got James Gunn. He's like, all right, this is the reboot of DCU from Zack Snyder's version. Uh, I'm doing my version. And I just feel like there's gonna be some type. I'm scared of a conflict of something.
I won't even say the conflict. It might just be fatigue. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know when his version of Batman is gonna come out. Like, look, I'm gonna be honest. Like this version of Batman, I've truly loved. Like I love the direction that Matt Reeves is going with this Batman. I love the atmosphere. We all love the Penguin show. Like this atmosphere is amazing to me. This is what the real Batman is. It's none of that poom pow kapow shit. Like I was never a fan of that. I'm gonna be honest. And then obviously the Christian Bale Batman, I do like. I just thought he played it a little bit. He did a little bit too much with the character. But overall, I'm loving it. But yeah, I agree with you. Like I'm the type where I'm very conflicted. Like I am disappointed that I have to wait another extra year to get one of my favorite superhero characters movies and one of my favorite iterations of my favorite superhero character. Yeah, I am disappointed. But what I mean, hopefully they fill in some other kind of, maybe they give us another Penguin season. You know what I mean? Before that, what I mean, I don't know. Maybe they'll be like, all right, let's just fill in this gap with another Penguin season 2 that can elevate. Like maybe they might change a couple because I remember they said that the ending of Penguin season 1 was going to be kind of like the startup to Batman 2.
Mhm.
So maybe they add in another season because there's also rumors that it may not be called Batman 2 anymore. It might be called something else. So they might even change the title. So I could honestly potentially see that if they go that route. I think that could ease in kind of some of my frustrations by getting that show. But we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll see, man.
We'll see,
Um,
man. We get Superman. You know what I mean? I know me and you were kind of hesitant on that, but after watching the trailer, I'm a little bit more excited, and you know, I think
even
I
though
think
there's,
you can turn
even
out.
though there's- I usually don't go off of what people say because a lot of time you nowadays you gotta watch movies for yourself.
You
And
got to,
you
yeah,
know,
for sure, for sure.
you can't go off of other people. But there were rumors that people weren't feeling the movie, or whatever. The people that behind the scenes they weren't feeling the screening that they saw. But I'm not going off of that. So
Yeah, like look, if that's the case, that look, look, I'm not gonna say that's not troubling to hear. Like, you know, what I mean, if people behind the scenes are like, you know, I'm sure the director has to hear that, and you know, some of the casting has to hear that. Um, I don't know. We'll see, man. Like, you know, what I mean, the last couple iterations of Superman, I haven't really been too much of a fan of. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Especially like the first installations of new Supermans, like they always be boring as hell to me. So we'll see, we'll see. I'll give it a fair shot.
for sure. All right, man. I just wanted to talk to you real quick about the NFL Week 18 scheduling. Get your thoughts on a few things. Um, let me pull this up. No, that's not it. Mhm. It is yeah. So we all know that a lot of these games don't mean nothing. But the more important game is probably the Bengals and Steelers game, and then whatever happens in the Broncos and Chiefs and Dolphins and Jets.
Hmm.
And we all know that the NFL is all about money.
Yeah.
So they want ratings, whatever it is.
Mm,
Now we all learned that the Ravens and Browns play on Saturday, and the Bengals and Steelers play on Saturday. Now, the Ravens and Steelers are still playing for the division,
hmm.
um, but um, of course, if Ravens and we all expect the Ravens to win on that game against the Browns. So if the Ravens win, the Steelers are initially playing for nothing.
Yeah.
And so the Bengals, so if you're the Steelers, you might not even play nobody. You might just rest your
Yeah, you might
guys,
change. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
which means that's a role for the Bengals to win.
Mm-hmm.
Then you fast forward to Sunday. We all know the Chiefs are resting most of their starters, so we expect the Broncos to win that game, and then the Jets are just a dumpster fire. So we expect the Dolphins to win that game. So initially, the Broncos will probably get that seventh spot, which I personally think that what they should have did was they should have figured out a way to play all these games at the same time. If you're gonna garner viewership
Mm-hmm.
and make it somewhat interesting. Because the only interesting game next week is the Vikings in line Sunday Night Football. They got that one right, and they had no choice to make that there because the other interesting game had the Atlanta Falcons won last night. The other interesting game would have been the Seattle Seahawks for against the Rams for the division, but since the Falcons lost, uh, the Seattle Seahawks was knocked out of contention and LA's the NFC West champion. So that don't even mean nothing. Um, I just wanted to get your thoughts. Do you think they could have scheduled it a little different?
Um, Look, man, am I surprised they didn't do everything on Sunday? I am a little bit. I think they're trying so hard to control every day of the week with the NFL, and I've said it many times. I think that's going to be an issue. I'll say this: I do disagree with you in this sense. I think a lot of these games have some impact because obviously you got draft slot,
That
you got draft slot. You know what I mean?
of
A lot of
course,
these fan bases are going to be really interested in that. You know what I mean? Are the Giants like, look, are the Eagles are they gonna allow Saquon Barkley to play and try to get that record? That could have some effect in that game. If
right,
not, the New
right.
York Giants could sit here and easily win that Philadelphia game, and instead of them being, I think they're fourth or third right now,
They're
they're gonna
fourth.
jump up to 10th. You know, you got my Raiders who, continuously win meaningless games, for their upliftment. And I get it. I'm not gonna blame the players or the coaching staff, but you know what I mean? Look, you got that opportunity where they could potentially, win that game and they could be up there in the tents and they're looking for the quarterback. You know what I mean? So you also got the Saints, the Patriots. Let's see if the Bills play anybody. I don't know. I don't
Mhm.
know if they're locked into the 2 seed right
Yeah,
now.
they are.
They are.
They got
So
yeah,
you
they got
gotta
some
you gotta look at that. The Patriots, they're talking about potentially playing Joe Milton. You know what I mean? So we got to see how that situation goes. And if the
mhm,
Patriots win, they currently have the number one pick. I don't know if they want to. Like they could potentially get you have some teams that are willing to trade up. They can get a lot of draft pick to solidify the rest of their team with Drake May. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of these games have some significant matters to them, whether it's
mhm.
draft positioning or playoffs. But I agree with you. It is a little weird. I'm not a fan of them doing it. Having the Bengals and Steelers game on Saturday. I think that should have been on the same slate as the Broncos Chiefs game. Honestly,
Or not to cut you off, my bad, but
no, you're good. You're good.
or at least if you're gonna do, I mean, I get it. That's a
Or have
prime
the Chiefs
time.
Broncos game on Saturday too. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like that's
that
what
too.
they should
But
have did.
or I know this is a prime time game, and I get it. But maybe you put the Bengals and Steelers earlier. You know what I'm saying? Just because, like I said, if the Ravens win, what are the Steelers playing for?
That's true. Like
Yeah,
flip
like
the matchups. Yeah.
like what are the Steelers? Because at the very minimum, okay, if the Steelers lose, then okay, you don't deserve to win the division. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
True.
Like it is what it is. You
Yeah.
don't deserve to win the division, and the Bengals are there. And if the Bengals lose, then boom, you know what I'm saying? We ain't even got to worry about now. It's between the Broncos and the Dolphins now,
Hmm.
because if the Broncos lose and the Dolphins beat the Jets, then the Dolphins are in. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So
Mhm.
it's like now it's just kind of like we expect the Ravens to win.
Yeah.
Unless it's just a meltdown. Like Lamar Jackson just has a meltdown. Well, we seen what the Browns have been looking like. They look terrible.
Yeah.
Like
Jerome Ford. He hurt his ankle. I doubt he's
right,
playing. So
right.
yeah. Yeah. No, I feel
It's
you.
it's bad. So we all expect the Ravens to win that game. I would have personally probably put a different team in that slot. Hell, you could have put, even though it may not mean like, you could have put like Tampa Bay and the Saints right there, because the Tampa Bay and Falcons are still playing for that division.
Yeah. Honestly, I would have personally rather just had the Chiefs, Broncos,
Yeah.
Bengals, Steelers. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
honestly would have just rather have that
Hmm.
scenario.
Hmm.
And then you can move the Ravens and Browns, because honestly, you need the Steelers to win to even because then if the Steelers lose on Saturday, then the Ravens can be like, all right, we're just gonna rest. We don't even need to worry
Right.
about this shit. You know what I mean? Like Lamar, chill out. Mark Andrews, chill out. Everybody chill. Let's get ready. Let's get ready for this long playoff run. Now you're gonna force Lamar Jackson and them to play, and you don't want any injuries. If you're the NFL, you don't want any injuries to any quarterbacks, to any top players going into this playoffs, because honestly, when you really think about it, I don't want to jinx this shit, but this is the healthiest playoffs we might get in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Look, I know Patrick Mahomes is dealing with this fake ankle injury, but he looks fine. Okay, he's fine. He's perfectly fine. He's getting an extra 2-3 weeks off. I think he'll be close to 100%
Yeah.
by the time that game. So you're gonna get a healthy Patrick Mahomes. You're gonna get a healthy Lamar Jackson. You're gonna potentially get a healthy Joe Burrow if they make it. You'll get a healthy Steelers team for the most part. You're gonna get a healthy Josh Allen. You're gonna get a healthy Jaden Daniels. You're gonna get a healthy CJ Stroud. I know his receivers are a little bit nicked up, but you got
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson. Hopefully he can film out. Jordan Love is healthy. Matthew Stafford and that team is healthy. Like the Broncos are healthy. The Detroit Lions are going to get healthier. David Montgomery is expected to come back for that first playoff game. I think he'll have a more likely chance if they have a bye week, but I think he'll definitely try to play in the first playoff game. Like, look, we're getting probably the healthiest playoffs we have gotten in a very, very long time. There's no excuses for no teams pretty much, except for maybe the Texans because of all the receivers that they lost. But for the most part, every team is pretty much healthy with the star players that they need to be healthy.
Hmm.
So you don't want to jeopardize that. If I'm an NFL scheduler, I would be like, look, we're going to give the Ravens the Sunday. We'll give the Chiefs, Broncos. They need to play this game. The Bengals and Steelers need to play this game for the seeding. Those are the two games that match up because they match up perfectly as far
Right.
as like what's going on and what people are more clamoring about. Because let's be honest, most of the AFC East teams want the Broncos to win. Now,
Right.
look, I think that defense can be very, very dangerous. And I think Bo Nix is a key factor if they can upset a team or not. But that defense is going to be very scary to anybody who plays them,
Right.
no matter who it is. Like the Bills
Hmm.
are going to be a little nervous because you got Patrick Surtain now. guarding Amari Cooper, guarding.
Right.
I think low key Keon Coleman's becoming their number one receiver. I think he's been amazing. And
Yeah,
you also got
yes.
Khalil Shakir. But the Broncos going to be very dangerous. But no one wants to play Joe Burrow and this Jamar Chase and T. Higgins team. They're so explosively nice that it's going to be very dangerous. Now, we could talk about their defense and how pathetic they are. That could be one of their Achilles heels. If you had to look at it, I guess you would probably say the Denver Broncos are the more complete team out of both of those teams. But
Yeah.
out of any of their sides of positions, we know that the Cincinnati Bengals offense is probably the scariest unit in probably the entire league, if you want to ask me. You know what I mean? Obviously, we got to see if Brown is going to be healthy enough, especially coming off that ankle injury. But if he's healthy enough to play, you know he's going to play, and he's a very explosive back. So I agree with you. I think they messed up on some of the scheduling here, but I do think they got the Sunday night right. Everybody wants to see that matchup.
Yeah,
That's
of
the
course.
matchup right there. Sunday night is
Oh, yeah.
perfect. I'm very curious to see what the Detroit Lions do tonight.
Yeah.
Like they don't really need to play this game. It really mean even if they lose, it's not going to really affect them. They need to beat the Vikings for them to get the number one seed, regardless. So I'm very curious to see what happens tonight. Like obviously, you know, Dan Campbell's already stated that he's going to play, but I think, me personally, I don't think that's a smart move, especially with it being a short week. I think that's playing a little dangerous, especially with all the injuries that they've been subjected to. Like, you know, I mean, they got the black cat in that organization as far as injuries. So, but hey, man, it's good. It should be an exciting Sunday, man, for all aspects from both sides, whether it's a draft position and or a playoff position.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's going to be interesting to see how these games. Would you, if you're the Eagles, would you let Saquon go for that record?
No. If he was closer, if he had like 50 yards or 60 yards or something like that, I'll be like, look, we'll give you a quarter, see what's up. But Saquon Barkley is the main reason why they are where they are. You know what I mean? Like Jalen Hurts, obviously, I expect him to be ready come playoff time. Obviously, A.J. Brown is very important to that team. That defense has been playing really good, but Saquon Barkley is why that offense has been such elite and why this team has been where they're at. So, no, I'm not risking Saquon Barkley. Like, I get it. It's a very prominent record. It's probably one of the more popular records in the NFL with Eric Dickerson. We know how great Saquon Barkley is. I think he's a Hall of Famer. But I'm not risking to injure Saquon because the Giants are going to be playing hard. You know what I mean? Like, it's a divisional battle. You don't know what's going to happen with situations like that. Like, I personally wouldn't risk it. I don't know. If he had, like I said, if he had 50 yards, I'll be like, all right, we'll try a quarter. We'll see how it goes the first couple of drives. If we're moving correctly and everybody's still healthy, then we'll go for it. But 100 yards, I'm like, man, you're gonna probably need at least a half, maybe 3/4, depending on the situation. I know the New York Giants, you know, they could give away some big explosive, unless if you like, all right, fuck it, we'll see on this play. If you can get 50 yards on this one run, then fuck it, we'll go for it. But I personally wouldn't risk it. What about you?
It's difficult, man, because it's history.
Get it, but what's more important though?
I know Super Bowls are way more important.
Like, if I would say this, I'm sorry to cut you off. If they had a for sure bye week, like if they were the number one seed and they had a bye week, I'll be like, fuck it, go for it. You know what I mean? Because at least if you have any kind of nicks, you do have that extra week or that extra time to rest. But you're gonna go right into the playoffs right after next week, right after this week is over. You're going straight into the playoffs, and depending on them, they could be the Saturday night game. You know what I mean? They could be, you know what I mean, on one of the short weeks. Like, I'm not risking Saquon for that. I'm not.
Yeah,
it's too important.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. If you look, the CJ Stroud and them, they got that once they got their division locked up, so they're not in any risk of losing the playoffs.
No.
Would you let him get a quarter just so he could have a good half, good vibes going into the playoffs?
Who, CJ?
Yeah, because they've looked bad the last 2 weeks.
I would not, because that offensive line is terrible. No, I'm not. At this point, like, if this offensive line was better, then I would say yeah, but my man's already running for his life. Look, man, no, like, at this point, who would the Texans play in the first round? Like, no one's going to have them winning that game. Like,
it's either going to be the Ravens or the Steelers. It'd be Steelers. It'd be Steelers right now, or it's going to be the Steelers or the Ravens. It's going to be either one of those two.
See, like, the matchup with Steelers would be interesting because you're going to get Deontay Johnson going up against his former team. Now, that would be one hell of a story if Deontay Johnson ends up, you know, having like 6 receptions for 100 yards and 2 TDs and ends up beating the Steelers. And the Steelers haven't been playing really well. Obviously, if they were to go up against the Ravens, I think that's blowout city. I think they have no
Yeah.
chance against the Ravens. But I'm not risking it with CJ, man. That offensive line is terrible, bro. I can't do that to him. You know what I mean? I'm not risking Joe Mixon or any Nico Collins. You know, Nico Collins has been battling hamstring injuries. You got Joe Mixon who's battling ankle injuries. I'm not risking it. Give these guys a rest. I
Would you
think they
put
have a
Deontay Johnson out there?
who?
Would you put Deontay Johnson out there?
I would just to give him some reps. Now, obviously, you would love to see him play with CJ Stroud because that's going to be the quarterback he would get. But he hasn't played a meaningful game in probably like what 2 months now, maybe even more. I would just to get his legs underneath him. Maybe give him a quarter, just get his rhythm, understand the offense where he needs to be at, stuff like that, and get him ready for the Steelers because he's going to be a big proponent in the playoffs for them. Whether to see how far they're going to go, you know what I mean. I think this defense has been playing a little bit better, but that offensive line has been tremendously bad, man. It has been horrendous. So I'll play Deontay for a quarter, but CJ, nah, you're sitting on the pine with me, my brother. Go ahead and get a cappuccino. Enjoy this game, man. Let's get ready. Let's get ready for whatever team we got to go on the road and face.
Right. All right.
Or they will have a home game, won't they?
No, they would have their own game. Yeah, they
They will
had
have
their
a home
own game. Yeah.
So it'll probably be. I think it'll probably be the Steelers. I think it'll be
Yeah.
the Steelers.
Me too. Me too. All right, man. Let's do our bet US surefire picks, man.
Let's do it.
All right, man. I'll let you kick this one off.
All right, man. So I did all college football playoffs. I didn't touch the lines because I don't know what they want to do. So I did Boise State plus 11. I do like the points. I think that's a lot of points. I said before, I think this game is going to be close. Before the news, I did have Texas and Arizona State over 51. I think I'm still going to take that. I think I could see Texas scoring a lot of points on this defense. And I wouldn't be surprised if Arizona State is able to score 14 to 20 points. So I will take the over. I love the Oregon plus 2.5. I just think Oregon's just a better team next to Ohio State. And then I got Notre Dame money line.
All right. So I do have tonight's game. I took the Detroit minus 3.5. I do think Goff is going to play tonight, so I got the 3.5 for Detroit. And then I took Mizzou minus. When I took it, it was at 2.5, but it's gotten down to 1.5.
Oh, they play today? They play today?
They play Iowa at 11. They're playing right now. Yeah,
Oh.
they're playing right now.
I know Alabama plays today.
They play tomorrow.
They play tomorrow. My bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I also got some prop bets for tonight. I got Jameer Gibbs anytime touchdown. I'm around Sir Brown anytime touchdown. And then I got Debo over 4.5 receptions. So and then tomorrow's games, I took Louisville versus Washington. I took the over 49.5. I got South Carolina over. I think they're playing. Who do they play? Baylor. Hold on. But I took South Carolina minus 10. I just think they're going to be better from the opponent that they're facing. Where you at? Come on. Of course, it doesn't want to pull up right now. But I also got LSU money line, and then I took Penn State minus 11 over Boise. Hold on. Here we are. But yeah, I took South Carolina minus 10 over Illinois, and I took LSU money line over Baylor. And then for Wednesday games, I got Texas minus 12. I took Ohio State minus 2.5, and I took Notre Dame money line. And then if you want to do a separate ticket, you can put Ole Miss minus 17.5 over. They're playing a team that should just demolish. So
yeah, for sure.
If you go to any of our social media sites or pages, you can see the link for the Bet US website. Click on it. This is for first time users only. You click on it, sign up, put in the promo code JOIN125. You get 125% sign-in bonus. That is 3 risk-free bets for your first three deposits. That's a minimum of $100 up to $5,000. So that means if you deposited $100 your first three bets and you lose, you keep your money. So you can win money, or if you lose, you keep your money. So you're not losing money regardless. So go to BetUS, sign up, and tell them Cris and Mal sent you. And that'll do it for our BetUS short buy picks 2024. All right. Now, let's do our top five 2025 wants. I think it's for sports, right?
Yeah, sports ones you want for 2025. So it could be whatever. Like you want to sign a player, you want, whatever it is. What is it that you want? Your top five things you want in sports in 2025. I'll let you go first.
Oh, you don't let me go first. Okay.
Oh, you want me to go first? I'll go first.
No, I go. I got my list.
All right.
I'm ready to go. All right. Number five. I want UNLV football to make the college playoff next year.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
number five. Number four, I want the Las Vegas Aces to get back to the finals and get back to winning the championship.
Got you. I got you.
Number three, I want my Kansas City Royals to make the World Series. Bobby Witt Jr., baby. Woo.
Okay.
Number two, I want Terrence Crawford and Canelo. Let's get it going.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then, I mean, you should know what number one is.
Yeah. Three-peat Kansas City Chiefs. We all know. We all know.
You should know what number one is.
No, I agree with you. Out of all yours, what do you think will most likely happen?
Most likely,
Yeah.
probably Las Vegas Aces get back to the finals.
And what's the least likely one?
Uh, probably, probably the Royals making the World Series.
I feel you, my brother. I feel you. As far as the Aces and the UNLV, I think that's self-explanatory. I definitely want all that for you. I didn't have that on my list, but I definitely want that. So at number five, I have the Raiders give Max Crosby an extension and end all trade talks. I need that to happen. I need my man Max to be happy. Give him the money. We have a lot of bread. Give him the bread. Let him be happy. Let him. I need him to stay a Raider. I really do. I was so hurt when we got rid of Khalil Mack. I do not need that repeat of emotional distraught. I do not. Please, you're already doing enough. You know what I mean? So let's not do that. Number four, I finally want the Las Vegas NBA team to get announced. I really want that. I want us to get that out the way. Figure out the location. Let's get that off the board. I'm excited for this NBA team. Seattle, I'm excited for Seattle to get their team. I'm really happy for them and that city and that family. They really deserve it. Supersonics should have never left. The Supersonics, I think, have some of the best jerseys of all time, too. So, but yeah, I really want the Las Vegas team to finally get announced for 2025. Number three, I agree with you. I want Terrence Crawford versus Canelo so bad. I want this fight so bad. So Crawford can put the work on Canelo. We can all shut up about this fight, please. I need this to happen. All right. Number two, I want LeBron James to retire so Anthony Edwards can ask for a trade to the Los Angeles Lakers. That is what I want for 2025. I want King James to respectfully retire, get ready to own the team out in Las Vegas. Man, we're very excited for you to be out here in Las Vegas and be a owner of this team and get us going, because I really do believe this NBA team in Las Vegas could potentially be an NBA Finals championship winner within 10 years of its start of being in the organization. So, but yeah, that's what I really want for 2025. And then number one, I think it's very, very clear what the fuck I want in sports. I finally want my Raiders to finally get a franchise quarterback so we can stop talking about who's going to be at quarterback. We need to get a franchise quarterback because that is the only way our franchise is going to be able to go forward. We see it with organizations. We already see it with the Patriots. We see it with the Commanders. We see it with the Texans. I still think Caleb Williams is the answer for the Bears. Like that, I think when you really want to talk about it, we can really have this conversation. Last year's draft could literally be one of the all-time greatest drafts of all time, with the likes of Malik Neighbors, Brock Bowers, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams. The list goes on and on. And how many great players came from this first round of this draft? Like we need to start having that conversation. I get it's still a little early, but I think that's a conversation we can have in like 4 or 5 years. But yeah, that's my top five. As far as like most likely to happen, I think that'll either be the Las Vegas team or the Max Crosby extension. I think one of those is more than likely going to happen. Least likely to happen, I think there's a better shot LeBron retires than Anthony Edwards gets a fucking comes to the Lakers and the Raiders get a quarterback at this point, the way I'm feeling. So I'm gonna go with the Raiders getting a quarterback, franchise quarterback next year. It's starting to look more and more likely like Aiden O'Connell's gonna be our damn future for next year. So
Yeah, yeah. It's not looking good, player.
no, it's not. It's not. It's not. But I'm not gonna go on a rant. I'm gonna save y'all people. I'm not gonna do it. I like y'all too much.
All right, man. Let's dabble into this SZA Kendrick collab album. I know you put this on the slate, so I'm gonna let you lead this one off.
Yeah, so SZA posted something where there's been kind of some little rumblings about maybe a potential SZA and Kendrick album collab could potentially happen in the future. I would personally love it. I think SZA and Kendrick's chemistry off of each other. We've seen it through multiple songs recently with the Luther song and some other songs, Gloria on Kendrick's new album. That those songs are really good, and I really enjoy those songs. I want to ask you though, what would be your excitement level to a SZA Kendrick collab album? I know this is coming out of nowhere. No one, it's not like this is something that people have been kind of clamoring for as far as like collab projects. But I think the more and more people start thinking about it, I think people would accept it, and especially with them going on a tour. Not saying it will come out before the tour, but maybe we get a surprise collab album during the Super Bowl week or something like that. You know what I mean? They come out and be like, oh, bam, we're going on tour. We're going to have a surprise collab album, blah, blah, blah. You never know, but I think I'll be excited. But what would be your kind of sentiments to a SZA Kendrick album?
I'm not gonna sit there and say I'll be like jumping for joy for it, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad at it. You know what I'm saying? I do think their chemistry is really good. They make really good music together. Like you said, Luther and what's the one song about the Black Panther?
I know what you're talking about. I forgot what it's called though, but yeah, that one was a big hit. You hear that all
Real
the time.
big, yeah. Those two, that song was a good chemistry. On SZA's new album, they got a song I think called "30 for 30."
30 for
I heard
30.
that's I
That
heard
was
it's a really
good.
good
Yeah.
song. So yeah, man. Every time they tap into it, they get it. I just don't want and I trust Kendrick and SZA to do this, but I just don't want it to be a thing where it might be one of those things where it's
Like forced.
yeah, like you forcing records and it don't come off like natural. Whereas I'm like they do songs every so often, so
Yeah.
that thing is like better. Whereas you do 12 tracks of it, and it's kind of like this one
Yeah.
kind of sounds like they tried to remake that song. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So, but I do trust Kendrick and them to, he never works off of just trying to force a manufacturer. He's always like, if it ain't, he ain't feeling. He kind of got that Andre 3000. In him. Ain't feeling it, ain't doing it. So,
Right.
I would expect it to do good numbers for sure, and
No, it would do excellent numbers. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
I expect it to do good numbers because her fan base, and that coming together, that'd be a great thing. You know what I'm saying? So, and maybe
Yeah,
it'll
no,
lead to another future concert.
no, for real. Like, obviously, the concert that they're doing this year, everybody's really excited for it. Now, especially now that SZA, did a deluxe to her SOS album. But
Mhm.
look, man, I think it'll be a smart move, especially where their careers are right now. They're one of the more popular artists right now. I think Kendrick
Mhm.
probably the biggest hip hop artist currently right now. I know people still probably say Drake, but Drake has a lot to figure out within his camp and what he wants to do. He's kind of talking about this Party Next Door album, but this could be also like kind of like conspiracy theorists right here. This could also be like kind of another slap in the face to Drake. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have the biggest collab album of all time type in a sense. You know what I mean? Like you've had yours with Future and 21 Savage, and now you got the one with Party Next Door. Like I'm here to shit on that. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm gonna be open to doing a SZA Kendrick album. Like that thing will do astronomical numbers between both fan bases. You know what I mean? So I think eventually we will get that. I don't know how soon. I think I'll definitely be shocked if they were to do some surprise, 10-song drop or something like that for the Super Bowl. But No, you never know with Kendrick and this and his team. You know, I mean, he always will do surprise drops that come out of thin air. So, I would definitely be excited about.
Especially now that he's no longer under, even though he's still, connected, he's no longer with TDE, so
Oh yeah, with PG Lang, yeah, yeah,
he could do his own thing now.
yeah, for
So
sure.
you might see a lot more of Kendrick now. I think the knock on Kendrick was, and I think it was a little bit too, like, he would put his all into an album and then try to, disengage after the tour. He's backing off because he doesn't want to, what I'm saying? You got to refill your tank. You got to get away, be with the fam a little bit, go through life experience and then tackle another album. You don't want to oversaturate yourself. And that's always been Kendrick formula. But I also think it's a little bit of that. That's the TDE formula too. Because we've seen this with other artists where, they they say their album is ready, but TDE's like, no, we going on the schedule, brother. You drop this date. You know what I'm
Absolutely,
saying?
yeah,
So I think he might have a little bit more freedom on when he wants to drop now. So
yeah. I don't. Yeah, I agree with you on that sense. Like, I don't understand the hate that TDE gets sometimes with how kind of how they go about releasing
yeah, yeah.
albums and stuff like that. Because I agree. Like, everybody who's been associated to this label, who's been a part of their track record and their kind of framework on how they want to release these albums, they've all succeeded. From Sir,
Mhm.
Schoolboy Q, Soul, Kendrick Lamar, SZA, like, we can go on and on with J Rock. Their artists have been solidified. Now there have been
Mhm.
certain artists who felt like they weren't the prominent as far as like the attention, you know what I mean? But look, man, when you're on a record label with that much talent, it's gonna be hard to just get noticed. And I get it, you want to just kind of put your shit out there because you don't want the moment to pass by because this album might sound outdated or whatever the case may be. But we got to respect TDE and what they've accomplished and the track record that they've been able to do. So, but I agree with you. Yeah, with him having a freedom now with PG Lang, I think that would be really cool. Um, and he's gonna probably experiment on a lot of different things. I mean, maybe the pace on how he releases the albums, maybe the different types of sounds and rap styles that he may do, different types of albums and stuff like that. So, obviously, I've always been a fan of, you drop your album, you go hard, tour and all that, and then you go out of sight, out of mind, and then you come back in a couple years and you give us some heat, because that gives people a chance, number one, to digest the album in its proper format, and honestly give
Mhm.
you a chance to actually miss and crave for that artist to come back. Now, obviously, you got to play the time right, because we're going through a situation with one of my favorite artists, especially R&B artists, with Miguel. Like, Miguel, where have you been, bro? You've been out of the game for a long, long time, and it's
Yeah.
getting to the point where I'm like, do I even care to even, like? Obviously, I will always care about getting a Miguel album. Like, he dropped a record, which was okay, it wasn't like one of his best drops, but it gets to a point where it's just like, all right, man, you're outside of the mind, man. You got cats like Lucky Day out there. You got, I'm a fan of, Isaiah Falls, and you definitely got a lot of young women R&B artists out there who are just dominating the game, like her and so forth. But it gets to a point where it's like, Miguel, where you at, my brother? Like, I'm craving for some of for some of your music. Frank Ocean, I'm craving for some of your music. Like, Snow Allegra, where you at? I need some new Snow. Like, what's going on? Like, you know what I mean? And I understand frustration for fan bases, because you're definitely seeing that with Cardi B fans, because she keeps postponing and saying she ain't ready to drop, but yet she's out here going toe for toe with her man, and twerking in clubs, while people are asking like, yo, what's up with this album, bro? Like, you've been promising us this since the beginning of the year. Now we got to wait till 2025 and hope you're in the mood to drop something, because I don't know if it's a fear that you want this to be just as successful as your first album, and she's on a span of not dropping in almost like what, 8 years now, 7 8 years now. Like, that, it
Mhm.
becomes a problem. So, like, I'm not asking for you not to disappear for 8 years, but 2 3 years is okay. And then draw some more shit. But people got to find that healthy balance with that. You know what I mean? Because you become oversaturated. Like, look at Drake. I think he was oversaturated these last 2 years. Like, he just dropped so much. It's just like, all right, it becomes a point where all these albums just start sounding the same, and it just all gets all muddled in together. And you just be, all right, brother, like, just go away for a little bit. Like, I enjoy your music. I still think you're one of the top artists, no matter how I feel about the Kendrick and Drake battle. But man, let me miss you, bro, so I can actually enjoy your music and digest it the proper way. Because I think if he takes his time, I think Drake can still drop some ill shit. He can still be the Drake we all expect Drake to be. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
No one's sitting here denying that, but give us a chance to miss you, my brother.
Yeah. The one thing I will say, and look, it's different for different artists, is that
Mhm.
sometimes like let's take Miguel's situation. And look, I don't know his situation and his label
Yeah,
situation.
me neither. I don't,
It might not even be him. It might be his label won't let him drop. You know what I'm
which is
saying? They might.
insane.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's just how some of these like these labels they act. These major labels they act like that, man. Like it be artists and you're waiting for them. And it's like we're looking at the artists because they make the art. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't
Absolutely.
always the artist. Sometimes it get like I said, it could be the label. Like, nah, we ain't feeling it. Nah,
Mm,
we want another one of these songs.
yeah.
And he's like, well, I've moved on from that. Like, I
Yeah.
want to make this type of music. And they're like, nah, we want to hear more of this.
Yeah.
And
We
we're
want more
not dropping.
kaleidoscope dreams
Yeah,
and all that. Yeah.
we and we not letting you drop nothing else until we get another one of them joints. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's just that's how crazy the music business is that it can be like that where the major labels is just like, nah, you ain't dropping. Now Frank Ocean, I just think that's Frank. I just think that's all Frank.
No, yeah, I agree. I agree. Like, I think,
Cardi B, that's her. She don't want to drop or
but
whatever.
her
And
label has even got frustrated with her though. See, like Cardi B is a different case because her
that's what
label
I
wants her to
think that's
drop.
her.
She just, I think, but see, I think that's her. But she now she's lost in the sauce because, like, I get it with Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean's always going to be huge. Like
Yeah.
everybody, Frank Ocean's Frank Ocean. I think he's on a different tier than Cardi B. I think Cardi B is a huge artist. But look, man, you got the likes of Gorilla, who probably had one of the better albums of the year. You had Doechii, who's fucking killing right now, who's probably
Mhm.
the best hip hop rapper, female artist right now, currently. Me personally, like, I think as far as like showmanship, um, lyricism,
Mhm.
um, productivity. The like her Tiny Desk was so fucking amazing. I can't only imagine what she'll be like in concert. You know what I mean? Like she's killing it. So you have Lotto, you have all these other rap hip hop females who are dominating the game. Nicki Minaj, who her last album did astronomical numbers. She did a world tour that did really well. Like Cardi B's lost in the sauce right now. Like you got your arch rival in Nicki Minaj dominating. Where are you at? It's time you show up and be like, yo, all right, I'm still here. I'm still Cardi B. I'm still that bitch. Blah 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 blah. But it seems like I don't know what it is. Maybe this whole situation with you and Offset has been so draining. You are not motivated to do music, or the second theory is you are just scared that you may flop, And then again, listening to other podcasts, you listen to Joe Budden and all that, he's kind of clearly stated that labels aren't as willing to be financially stuck on a female artist because of how expensive they are. You already have record labels who aren't, you know, pushing music the way they normally did. You got record labels that are trying to go more into the AI aspect of musicianship right now, and it's becoming really scary for artists and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So she needs to understand, like, sooner or later she gonna have to just drop some music and stand on what the fuck she's dropping, or the ship is gonna sail her by. She has so much advantage and popularity within her music. She was killing the game. She was
Mhm.
one of the top artists, male or female, in the game. Like, and you just let that boat just sail away. Why? I don't know. I don't know. It's not like you had the writers, you had the production behind you to support you, but you are not willing to put the work in. I wouldn't say put the work in, but stand on the music that you want to that you have produced to drop and put to the world. Like, I think that's a problem. I think that's a problem.
Yeah. 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 We'll see, man. We'll see. All right, man. Let's take it home for a little bit, man. UNLV football. We all know that Dan Mullins is the new head coach of the
Mhm.
UNLV football program. He's also signed defensive coordinator Zach Arnett. He was the head coach of Mississippi State, and he was the defensive analyst at Mississippi Ole Miss this past year. And he also signed Corey Dennis. Corey Dennis is the son-in-law of Urban Meyer. He was there, Florida and Ohio State. where he's at Ohio State. He was the offensive coordinator from 2020 to 2023, and then last year he was the OC at Tulsa in 2024. So they're shaping up. You know what I'm saying? I think they kept some guys. I know they kept the defensive line coach. I think they kept the DB coach and a few other spots on the coaching staff they've kept. So but they've also entered the transfer portal and they've got some guys. None, they got wide receiver JoJo Early. He's from TCU. He also started his career in Alabama.
Mhm.
Um, they got inside interior offensive lineman Ben Chisholm, Chrisman out of Kentucky, running back Jalen Glover out of Utah, tight end Nick Elsness out of South Carolina, and quarterback Anthony Calandria out of Virginia. Um, so they're trying to build this new look, kind of UNLV and Dan Mullins mode. How are you feeling about how things are going so far? Some of the transfers and what Dan Mullen is trying to do.
No, I'm very excited. Like it's good to see that he's getting players from all aspects of different. He's getting SEC players, he's getting ACC players. You know, what I mean, he's getting some Pac-12, Pac-12, Mountain West, and all that type of stuff. So, I'm excited. You know, what I mean, Dan Mullen's going to bring a different tier of style and player. No disrespect to Barry Odom, but Dan Mullen's been, he coached at prominent SEC schools. So,
Mhm.
I look, I'm excited for the Dan Mullen era. Hopefully, he can build upon what Barry Odom was able to build out of this UNLV collegiate team. But you know what I mean? It still need a little bit more. You know what I mean? I'm excited to see the quarterback they were able to get. You know what I mean? A lot of people are kind of comparing him. I saw a video that you sent me where guy was kind of comparing him to Johnny Manziel. We all know Johnny Manziel as a collegiate player was one of the best of all time.
Mhm.
So if we can get some aspect of that, that'll be great because I think UNLV. I agree with a lot of people that I think UNLV is a sleeping giant just with
Mhm.
the placement of where this college football program is. The city of Las Vegas growing. That just means more money into this program, and they're already playing at an elite stadium. The facilities I heard are really great, thanks to Barry Odom and all the donors and stuff like that. So I'm really excited, man. I'm really excited to see the future of UNLV going into next year. And I'm sure they're not done in trying to keep certain players within this program or recruiting from other colleges and whoever else is in the transfer portal. So I'm very very excited to see where this team goes.
Yeah, man, I agree, man. And they also brought some guys back. Big Duffy, I think he's coming back. Um, there's a few other. I think another linebacker is coming back too. Offensive lineman is coming back. So, a couple of running backs. I know Jet is coming back. There's a few other running backs. I know Burrell. He left. I think he went to. I think he went to Sacramento State. Um,
Mhm.
but and then a few other players went to follow Barry Odom over in Purdue. But I'm excited for this team next year. I'm excited to see what Dan Mullen does. Does he take this team? Sometimes Barry Odom did what he did with him, and maybe Dan Mullen can get him to that next level and take him to that you know top tier. You know what I'm saying? Prominence, and make this program really really buzz and be in a spot where I don't know, 2, 3 years from now, we're in national championship talks or whatever. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Hmm.
So I am excited. I'm excited to see what this quarterback looks like. Like I said, I've seen other highlights of this kid. It looks like he has a pretty good arm, and he has an athletic ability. He can run and stuff. And then I'm excited for this running back, Jalen Glover. Excited to see what he can do in that backfield with the already talented running backs that we have right now. So yeah, man, I'm excited to see what this offense looks like and this defense could look like,
Yeah.
going into the 2025, 2026 season. So,
Hmm.
all right, man, let's do our NFL Week 17 recap. What is, Let's put it right there. Yeah. All right. So we had two games for Christmas. Against the Chiefs. Steelers went to the Steelers. The Chiefs ended up winning 29-10. This is probably the Chiefs' best game that they had all season. Patrick Mahomes, he was 29-38, 320 yards, 3 touchdowns. Um, Travis Kelsey had 8 catches, 84 yards, and a touchdown. I know Xavier Worthy had like 7 catches, 79 yards, and a touchdown. And Justin Watson had a touchdown. Kareem Hunt had a touchdown too. But to me, the talk was the defense. No Chris Jones, 5 sacks, 2 turnovers. Defensive line looked great. And I think that also the underlying thing is Joe Tooney playing left tackle. They might have to keep him at left tackle because this is the best that this offensive line has looked with him at left tackle. So they might have to keep him out there. It was interesting to see what they'll do with DJ Humphries. He might just be an emergency type dude. But like I said, this the best the Chiefs have looked all season. Had a comfortable win. The Steelers, I know they're on a down tick, but I feel like this was a good win for the Chiefs, especially going into the playoffs.
Nah, yeah. Just kind of solidified how the Chiefs are the best team in this league. You know, what I mean, they're finally getting healthier, getting stronger, and it's kind of showing. Even not having Chris Jones, this defense still performs. But at the same time, the Steelers team is going through the same situation they did these last couple of years, where they just don't finish off strong. Russell Wilson reverting back to old Bronco days. You know what I mean?
Right.
Najee Harris looking like the Najee Harris I've been complaining about for years. So like,
Leave Najee alone, man.
I'm being honest with you, man. I'm just being honest. Travis Kelsey reverting back into old Travis Kelsey, 8 receptions, 84 yards, and TD. Like,
Shout out to I gotta give a shout out.
Yeah, shout out to him.
He broke Tony Gonzalez's record.
Tony Gonzalez's record. Yeah, so congratulations to him. Well deserved. But man, you know, you got to beat the Chiefs now. Now everybody has to go to Arrowhead and beat this team. So it's just going to be even harder. You know, it's going to be frustrating to watch because it's looking more and more likely that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be in the fucking Super Bowl again. We got to watch another dry ass Super Bowl again. Thank you.
It wasn't dry against the Eagles.
I'll say this. Thank you, Kendrick Lamar, for saving this Super Bowl because you might be the only reason why I watched this shit. But yeah, man, it's just getting to the point where it just kind of is what it is. I can't even be mad no more with the Chiefs. You just have to accept it. We've accepted it for 2 years, and it's looking like y'all going to get y'all to repeat and sell off. And if we got to deal with this again, look, man, I just don't want to watch it. But congratulations to y'all, man. And Steelers, this does not build any confidence to me. Like, I get it. The Texans aren't playing really good either, but at this point, that's a 50-50 game right there, dog. I don't know who's going to win that Steelers and Texas game if that's the matchup we get in the playoffs. So
yeah, I agree.
Steelers put on a bad performance. It was pretty pathetic.
Yeah, and George Pickens, man, look, bro, you gotta stop doing that, man. That interception was on George Pickens, by the way. I know a lot of people want to blame Russ, but George Pickens stopped running his route.
Yeah,
and Justin Reed was just like, well, since you gonna stop running your route, I ain't gotta worry about the flat.
Yeah,
I can just read Russ and get this pick real quick. So, and he just threw a tantrum. We all knew the crash out was gonna come. Then after the game, you going up during the interview, dapping up Travis Kelsey and Patrick Mahomes, and this is like, what you doing, George, man? You gonna learn that the NFL will get rid of your ass in a minute. They don't need you. No. They really don't.
No.
So, all right. The later game was the Ravens and the Texans. The Ravens won 31-2. Look, man, the Texans just look like since the game against the Chiefs, and really all season, but really since the Tank Dell injury, they just have not looked the same. They look like they didn't even want to be there, and they were at home. They didn't look like they want to be out there. The Ravens, they just mud stomped them from the beginning. Lamar Jackson did whatever he wanted. Derrick Henry did whatever he wanted. It was just an onslaught. It was not pretty, and I don't know how, as a Texans fan, you can feel good about this team, but it is not looking good.
Look, man. No, it was a. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch too much of this game. It was a bad product. I watched the Beyonce performance. That was probably the best thing about this whole game. Honestly, shout out to her. She looked really good. Look, man. We got to say something. Like, look, those Wednesday games were terrible. Christmas games were terrible. Like, I get it. They still had kind of like the same amount of time as a Sunday team playing a Thursday, but it's totally different. That Wednesday specifically, you finally start getting back into practice or walkthroughs, whatever the case may be in that situation, and that kind of fucks up the whole kind of thing you've had going all year, and you got to do something completely different. So you could categorize those games as kind of like something with that. It looks so out of the ordinary, but hey, man. Christmas is for basketball. Let's keep it that way. Stop doing these Christmas games. Football, let it go. Let it go.
Yeah. Thursday was just terrible.
Yeah, that was bad. Yeah.
Seahawks and Bears was just terrible. It was just a bad. I have nothing to say. Both teams don't need to be. The Geno and Seahawks, they deserve to get knocked out of contention after what I saw on Thursday.
Yeah, I'm so happy they're not making the playoffs. I'm so happy. No one wants to watch that shit. Obviously, like one of the bigger conversations that they had on the broadcast that I thought was interesting was just the fact of what do the Seahawks do with Geno Smith? Do they obviously, he's going to want a bigger contract. You know what I mean? He's going to want an extension. Do you give that extension to him or don't you? You know what I mean? It gets to the point of you ask your question, can you find something better than Geno Smith? And do you really believe Geno Smith can take you over the hump and get you a Super Bowl? I've been a proponent saying no. I think he's a too much of an inconsistent quarterback to do that. And we see it in the likes of this. You go up against the Bears team that really has nothing to play for. You can only put 6 points on the board. I get the weather was bad and all that, but it wasn't like you were playing on a Wednesday. You played a normal Thursday game that a lot of these teams are very comfortable with playing. And as far as the Bears look, that offensive line is horrendous. Caleb Williams has no chance of throwing against that offensive line. That's something that they're definitely going to have to focus on going into the offseason. But, yeah, this game was atrocious.
Yeah, it's bad. And as far as Geno goes, I don't know what you do with Geno because maybe you go look at if the Vikings, for whatever reason, don't re-sign Sam Darnold. Do you say, well, maybe Sam can take this team to the next level, you know what I'm saying? With the weapons that we got.
Other quarterbacks in the draft, though, you got like the Jackson Darts and the Quinn Ewers. You got the Jalen Milrows of the world that you could potentially just sit down for the year, give Geno maybe an extra $10 million so you can be happy going into the last year of his contract. And then, you just have him sit behind Geno for the year and get him ready for the 2026-2027 season. So I think they have options. But as far as like giving him a long-term contract, I think that's absolutely no.
Yeah.
He's in the same boat as like Brock Purdy for me.
Yeah, I agree. The Chargers on Saturday they had 3 games. The Chargers put the beats on the Patriots. It wasn't even close. J.K. Dobbins is back, and when J.K. is in, you could just tell the difference. When J.K. is in this offense looks 10 times better.
100%.
It just flows better. Matt McConkey looked good. Justin Herbert looked good. This game is predicated off this running game. Like I said, when this running game is rolling, this team it can be dangerous. Their defense is really good. I know they got Khalil Mack back and a few other players back. So the defense is looking in really good shape. So Chargers can be a little dangerous team in the playoffs. I say that.
100%. I think they're going to be dangerous. Obviously, I still think they're like a year or two away. But with Justin Herbert and his quarterback play, he's been playing really amazing. Obviously, it's really great to have J.K. Dobbins back. And thank you, Lad McConkey. You're one of the reasons why I won my fantasy championship. I'm a champion today because of you. And you've been he's another one of those guys that came in the draft that is amazing. As I said, 2024 draft is looking like a stellar draft.
It is.
So shout out to the Chargers, man. They play really well. As far as the Patriots look, man, they're going to be fine. You know what I mean? They're in a position where they can get the number 1 pick next year and get a boatload of picks for somebody that wants to trade up and try to get a Shedeur Sanders or a Cam Ward or Travis Hunter, whatever the case may be. So they're sitting really, really pretty right now for them to be able to put together a really solid team around Drake May. You have a whole bunch of cap space going into the off season where you potentially could get like a T Higgins or whoever else that could become available. The Patriots are staying really good. I don't see why Patriots fans are kind of clamoring for Mayo to be fired. Like I get he might do some things that may not be aesthetically like you want to see it, but look, man, we all knew what this team was going to be. They were going to be a below 500 team, top 5 pick. But they're positioned to be amazing in the next 3 to 4 years. You have great pieces on the defensive side. You have Christian Gonzalez. You have Drake May, your future quarterback. You still have Ramondre Stevenson, all that. Like, look, your Patriots will be fine. They will be back to the top of the AFC within like 3-4 years. They'll be fine.
Yeah, and then like you said, you got the number one. You got options at the number one pick too. You could get a superstar who can take, the Patriots and must see TV now.
Yeah, you could get a Travis Hunter. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? You get Travis Hunter, now you got must see TV because now they're definitely going to put you on prime time.
Right?
They want to see Travis.
Absolutely, because if you get Travis Hunter, let's say you even get a bowl hold from 3 to 1. Like, let's say you get like 2 first-round picks or whatever the case may be. You can still get Travis Hunter. So that solidifies your cornerback position. You can add him with Christian Gonzalez. That would be a mean-ass cornerback. Or you can play him at wide receiver. So that kind of solves your wide receiver problem. So you don't have to invest into a T. Higgins if you don't want to pay him $30, $40 million, whatever the case may be. You can use that money for defensive linemen, offensive linemen, tight end, cornerbacks, linebackers. And you have over $100 million in cap space. Like the Patriots are sitting fucking pretty. Like they're good. They have their quarterback. Like they're good. Like they Patriots fans should just be chilling. Like, but they're too spoiled because of Tom Brady and Bill Belichick.
Oh man, you can get out that been dead a long time ago. Even when Bill was there, still there, that was dead. Like as soon as Tom walked out the door, you should have said it was a good run.
Yeah, there are certain fan bases that just don't need to complain. Like Patriots fans don't need to complain. Steelers fans don't need to complain. Kansas City Chiefs fans don't need to complain. Packers fans, you have had great quarterbacks for the last 30 years. You're the last motherfuckers that need to complain. Like, just enjoy the ride. Me, as a Raider fan, I have every right to complain every single day and every year. I have every right to do that. So, and there are other teams like Giants and Colts and all that. Like, they have the right. Like, so, yeah.
We also had the afternoon game. We had the Bengals against the Broncos. They ended up winning in overtime. Yeah, in overtime. 30-24. I don't know if Marvin Mims really caught that ball, but whatever. Joe Burrow still had an excellent game. T. Higgins was the name. He had 3 touchdowns. Messed up my parlay, but still, Jamar Chase still balled out. Chase Brown, before he got hurt, was really good. But Bo Nix had a pretty good game too. He had a costly, turnover, but that ultimately lost him the game. And Bengals, they need help. They need a lot of help, but they have potential to still get that 7th seed. But they got to win against the Steelers, and they got to have the Dolphins and the Broncos lose on Sunday. So we'll see.
This was definitely one of the games of the year. I would assume. Like, Bo Nix played a really good game. Joe Burrow looked amazing. T. Higgins, you're another guy that made me a champ today, my brother. Thank you so much. If I could send you a gift, I would, but you're richer than me, my brother, so that's not happening. So, look, man, Cincinnati Bengals, they played a hell of a game. Broncos, they're going to be a scary team. Obviously, there's still some young factors amongst this team as far as like with Bo Nix and all that, throwing a bad pick and all that. But look, man, I expect the Broncos probably to win their game against the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think it'll be easy though, because I think Carson Wentz is going to go out there and try to win the game. Chiefs.
He's trying to get a job next.
He's trying to get a job, so they're going to play really, really hard. You have a lot of cats that haven't gotten playing time, that have been on the practice squad or whoever, that are going to finally get a chance to, show out for Andy Reid and this squad. And obviously, they don't want to let him down. Everybody. Really, really wants to, solidify Andy Reid as the greatest coach ever, and I'm sure they're motivated for that. And they don't want to put on a bad showing. Obviously, they want to. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes and them are not playing, but they still want to have good mojo going into their bye week and going into divisional round games. So, it'll be tough for the Bengals. Obviously, I don't think the Bills want to see the Bengals as a 7th seed. I don't think they want that. I think, obviously, you'll be a little bit more worried with the Broncos defense, but it's Joe Burrow, it's Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, man. That's scary enough. I think the Bills should be able to control Bo Nix.
The NFL wants that, though.
The NFL definitely wants that. They definitely want that. So
they want
the rest, like, hey, make the call. It's going down. You know what I mean? Make the call. We've seen it before. Make the call. You know what I mean? So, Hey man, I get it. Like most people would think like this slate is going to be terrible, but there's a lot of intriguing games.
Mhm.
We talked about it before. Like it's going to be really intriguing. As I said, I would have wished that they would have put the Bengals and Broncos along with the Chiefs, and I mean the Chiefs Broncos game along with the Bengals and Steelers game. I think
Yeah,
that would have been the smartest play. But we get what we get, so it should be interesting nonetheless.
yeah, for sure. The Rams beat the Cardinals 13-9. Um, this game was not that good, even though the numbers don't suggest it does it, but they
Yeah,
couldn't get in the end zone to save their damn lives.
nah, nah, they couldn't. Okay,
you
we're
look at
having a day in this one.
you look at the stat line, it's like, damn, where the touchdowns at? But the Rams end up pulling it out at the end. That Kyler Murray and them damn interceptions, man. It just sealed the fate of them. I don't know what you do with. It's gonna be interesting to see what Arizona does next year because they got talent. They definitely got. They just signed Budda Baker to that extension, what he deserves. He's one of the better safeties in the NFL. Marvin Harrison Jr. You see the promise in him. Um, I'm still questioning to see what they're going to do with Trey Benson. Maybe next year he'll show up, you know what I'm saying, and be, in his sophomore year and show the potential that he had at Florida State. James Conner is still, a pretty good running back. But I don't know what you do with this Arizona team as far as Kyler Murray goes. I don't know if they want to go to a different direction or I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. As far as the Rams go, I get it. It's been divisional teams. They have not looked good these past 2 weeks whatsoever. Like since the Buffalo Bills game, they ain't look good on offense. Defensively, they've looked better. You know what I'm saying? It's promising, but on offense, they've been a little off. So they're gonna have to step it up. They can't be, looking like this in the playoffs. They're gonna get their asses bounced out in the first round. So
Yeah, I agree with you on that sentiment. I think the Rams will be fine though. I think Sean McVay and all of them. I think they're kind of just going through the motions. They know they're going to make the playoffs. So I don't know if they're solidified with their seeding, but look, man, I think they'll be fine. I really do think that there's really going to be some interesting conversations about what they want to do with Kyle Murray though. Obviously, I'm still a fan of Kyle Murray there, but I talked about it last week that there have been certain performances where it's just like, what's going on with you, my brother? So bad throws, timely missed throws, even the throw off the helmet of the McBride was pretty bad. He didn't have to throw it at such a high pace. Like, it seems like he has a problem with kind of like the speed of which he wants to throw the ball, the angle. Obviously, he's a shorter quarterback, but I don't know. I'm still a Colin Murray guy. I know you kind of asked me like how it would feel like if the Raiders couldn't get like a Shador Sanders or a Cam Ward and they could get a Kyle Murray for like a second round pick or something, depending on the situation. Would I be mad at it? No, I wouldn't be mad. You know what I mean? I think maybe a new change of scenery for him would be good.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously the Cardinals, they don't want to re-up him on the contract. I would assume not. So they're a very young team. I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually be like, all right, we're gonna go another route. Maybe get somebody that can sit behind you and eventually will either trade you or release you and give you opportunity to play with another team. So I think that was a more interesting conversation coming out of this game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Them damn Jets. Aaron Rodgers got smoked on Sunday by the Buffalo Bills. It wasn't even close.
Right.
But the Jets just look dejected, man. Just tear it down. Get rid of Aaron Rodgers. Give him his walking papers. Aaron Rodgers, ride off in the sunset. Retire, man. Just retire. Let it go. Be a regular on Pat McAfee and I don't know. Start your own show. Give us the Aaron Rodgers show. You can give all your viewpoints and thoughts and all that good stuff. And in a few years, the Green Bay Packers will retire your number because you deserve it. We ain't taking that away. You're a 4-time MVP. Probably how many year first team All Pro. You got a Super Bowl. Like they gonna remember you as one of the greatest quarterbacks in total football. We not taking that away from you. But as a Jet, you were horrible. You were not good, and we will never know. Now, that first year we're there, you might have been good, but you got hurt 4 plays in. And this year, it didn't start off good. You not showing up to training camp, and the Robert Sala discord, and the owner talking about sitting you for Tyrod Taylor, and it's just been bad all season for the Jets. You get Devontae Adams, and you got worse.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson, he tired. He's sick of you.
Mm-hmm. He's sick of Devontae Adams too.
Yes, he's sick of both of them. He wants both of them to leave. So, yeah, just Aaron Rodgers, go somewhere else. Just retire, man. It's over. It's over. You know what I'm saying? You'll be highly regarded as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play this game. Like I said, you'll get your number retired in Green Bay. They'll do a whole ceremony for you. You will go in Canton one day. That is not a question. But as a Jet, you were terrible. As far as Buffalo goes, this is nothing new. This is what Buffalo do. They beat bad teams to a bloody pulp. They destroy them. That's what they do. So, shout out to Josh Allen. We'll talk about the MVP, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of this, I do want to get your viewpoints on the MVP. But, yeah, this was expected.
Look, man, the Jets are an embarrassing organization. You know what I mean? You had the reports of the owner talking to his sons about Madden ratings and whether they wanted to trade for players and all that. You got Aaron Rodgers, probably one of the more unprofessional quarterbacks this year. Devontae Adams, one of the more unprofessional wide receivers of this year. I don't care what they be saying in post game. Like I know what this is about. Like you got Devontae Adams who was crying and bitching all the time with the Raiders just to go to a worse situation, like with the Jets. And then you're sitting here defending the play of Aaron Rodgers because you don't want to deal with the backlash and his big words that he might say in the Pat McAfee show that might hurt your feelings. But come on, Devontae Adams, sticking up for this stuff is laughable and comical. I could say that. And as far as like Aaron Rodgers, he made the comments that he checked himself out, and maybe it's time to put Tyrod in. Like, I mean, people are tired of Aaron Rodgers, bro. People are ready for him to just retire and leave. I don't know what organization would want to go through an Aaron Rodgers year. I don't see it. I don't understand. I don't know why the Jets would consider even bringing him back. Like, there's nothing about Aaron Rodgers that screams I need him on my team. He should retire. His game is over. It's old. That Achilles injury killed his career as far as like the last years of it. And he should just ride off in the wind. He made a lot of money. And just do what you want to do. Do your ayahuasca trips. Try to become vice president of the country if you want to try to do that. Whatever. Like, you'll be the quickest one to get voted out. No one's going to vote for you, my brother. I'll be honest with you. So, and the Devontae Adams, you need to figure out what you want to do. Like, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be there to hold your coattails anymore, my brother.
Right.
You're going to need to find a new situation. I think you still have some good years left in you, but you're going to have to find a situation where you're not going to sit there and complain because, you don't get the ball the way you want to. And sooner or later, you're not going to be the true number one receiver anymore, bro. With your age, you got young, up and coming, great, talented receivers that are coming in this league every day, who are going to be the true number ones. You're going to have to learn to be the number two. So, are you willing to take the back seat or not? Because lately, you've been talking out both sides of your ass. One day you be like, yeah, I'm down, and the next minute you're crying because you don't get the touchdowns and the receiving yards, even though your team won. You're still bitching and complaining about it. So I used to be a big fan of Devontae Adams, but his whole stint with the Raiders and now this whole situation with the Jets, it left a really, really bad taste in my mouth with him as a teammate overall. Mm-hmm. And you could kind of see it, man. Like the moment Devontae Adams left, you saw with the Raiders, they just started playing more freely. They started playing more vibrantly, and And that's another thing. Devontae Adams want to stand on his team. You might have the number one pick because people would have been so miserable playing with this motherfucker. Everybody would have been cool. The moment he goes to the Jets, you know what happens? Garrett Wilson wants to go out. Like, everybody's miserable. So it's just kind of funny how he goes from one team and one team becomes more happier and playing better, and another team
Hey, Devontae,
just goes down.
Go back to Green Bay, man.
Yeah, honestly,
just go back to Green Bay, man. You should have stayed there first and foremost. I would say that.
Or go to the Chargers. You have you have options. Go to J.J. Daniels. Play with him. Like, you were very high on him in the draft, especially when you were with the Raiders. Go play for him. Like, you have options out there. I don't know why you went from the Raiders to the Jets. That just made no sense to me. That's one of the frustrations with Devontae Adams. Like, you just wanted to play with Aaron Rodgers and hope you can rekindle something, but in reality, Aaron Rodgers is old. He's not the Aaron Rodgers of Green Bay. So go to Green Bay. I think you would I think you'll be the number one over there because I don't think
Yeah.
we have a number one receiver over there, especially
Right.
one that can stay healthy. I think obviously I think Terry McLaurin would be the number one still over there, but 1-2 punch of you and him, I think that would
But
be.
at least Terry will take the back seat for you.
He would. He
He
would. I
would.
still think Terry McLaurin should be the number one because he
He
deserves
should,
part
but
of
I'm
that
just
fabric
saying,
of that organization for a long time.
Terry's personality, he would take the back seat.
But for a Super Bowl, he would absolutely do that. So yeah, I think there's plenty of options for Devontae. I don't expect him to be a Jet next year, but I think he needs to change his attitude and his mindset though. He really does. He needs to check himself in the mirror, man, because he's, as I said, like all the shit I could talk about him, he's a great talented guy, but
Of course.
man, it's just, you're
I'm telling you right now, Devontae.
Aaron Rodgers rubbed off on you, my brother.
Let me tell you something. Jim Harbaugh he ain't gonna deal with that shit. I'll tell you that right now.
Hell no. Nah.
You better get ready to block.
Take that bullshit. You think Dan Quinn gonna take that
Nope.
bullshit?
But I'm saying you better and Chargers, you better get ready to block a lot. Because we running this football.
He's a great wide receiver. He's a great blocking receiver, though. He is a great blocking receiver. No matter how I feel about him personally, I still think he's a great talent. He needs to check his attitude at the door and stop trying to be Aaron Rodgers. Like I feel like he's trying to be Aaron Rodgers too much. Like bro, chill out. You were never like this when you were there with Derek Carr. Like you were better than this, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what changed, but it's great.
For real. Look, man, I just got one question for you, Raiders. Do y'all not like throwing it to Brock Bowers in the end zone? Like, goddamn, man, I had him on my prop ticket, and I'm just sitting there. You give it to him from the 20 to the 20. But then when you get in the red zone, it's a Jacoby Myers. No, give it to Brock fucking Bowers.
Yeah.
Trey McBride ain't had a touchdown all season, and my man scored this week.
Yeah. Nah, I feel you.
Hey, you can't get the ball to Brock.
Look, man, Brock Purdy should be our number one red zone threat. I agree with you. Like I said, man, like, look, man, I'm not happy about this win. Obviously, I went on my side
I know you.
at this point, it is what it is. But like I said, like, don't be fooled by these performances with AP. I think just the inconsistency levels and how they call plays, and you know what I mean. Like, I know everybody's kind of on this hype train, like, oh, we should keep AP, we should keep Aiden O'Connell. Let's remind ourselves they struggled in that first half with the New Orleans Saints, and we've beaten bad teams. Like, let's not stop thinking like we're over here beating the Chiefs and we're beating the Eagles and we're beating the Bengals or any of these teams. We are not. Like, at the end of the day, we're going to be in a position where we're going to be probably drafting like 7 through 10, one of those spots right there, the way it's going. Hopefully the Chargers have some reason to play the game. If not, I think we'll probably win another fucking game for no reason, where we'll be 5-12. And, you know, we're just going to be in the same situation that we've always been, where we're in a draft where we lost. All right, I'm going to do this again. We just literally watched Jaden Daniels and Michael Penix have a great game, back and forth game. We've watched Bo Nix on Saturday have a great game. We watched Caleb Williams. Yes, he's been inconsistent, but we can see the promise with him as long as he gets the offensive line. We literally have watched 4 of these quarterbacks. 5. Potentially could have watched JJ McCarthy because he was looking pretty good in the preseason, but we'll let him slide this year. We saw 4 solid quarterbacks that we really could have had. But you know what? We won meaningless games for AP. Now we're doing the same thing with Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward. And if y'all are telling me that Jalen Milroy is the pick for this team, man, let me stop, man. Let me stop. This team is ridiculous, bro. I'm sorry.
Just get the damn ball to Brock Bowers.
Yeah, get to Brock Bowers. At this point, just get to Brock Bowers. It's kind of curious. Like, I know everybody had Jaden Daniels as the solidified offensive rookie of the year, but man, you got Brock Bowers, man. He's making a strong case, man. He really is. He broke Mike Dickens' record.
Yeah, I think if you guys are in the playoffs, then
for sure. I think it's Jaden Daniels. But I think it should be some strong. I wouldn't be mad if he got a couple first place votes. I wouldn't be mad. I don't think it should be like a clean.
Because you got him, you got Brian Thomas Jr., who just he doing his thing.
Lad McConkey had showed off. You know what I'm saying? Malik Neighbors. Come on, man. Like I said, this 2024 draft. When we look back on it, one of these days we're gonna have to just look back on this draft like during the off season and just like right before the draft. It's fucking amazing how great this draft was. It was, and they were saying this was one of the not good drafts from what we were saying last year.
It's been a good draft, but Jaden Daniels looked like Michael Penix. he's gonna be something. He got mass potential.
Mitchell, Cooper, just
And Mitchell,
like
Cooper
everything
DeJean,
was like a top heavy draft. But you look at spring.
Xavier Worthy starting to come
Link
along. And,
Forum has
yeah,
looked progressively
yeah.
better. Like man, it's this draft
Bucky Irvin looks like a superstar. He looks like he might be the next Saquon.
absolutely. Keon
So
Coleman, he looks
yeah,
amazing. You know
yeah,
what I
he's
mean?
starting to come along too. So
I'm telling you, man, this draft was amazing to look
yeah.
at. Hopefully, it's the same this year. Hopefully, you got some key names in the draft, but we'll get more into that as the months and weeks go.
The Giants, dumbasses, won the damn game, 45-33.
Yep,
But Malik
yep.
Neighbors was amazing.
Ooh, another reason why I'm talking this, but I had low key all my receivers hit. I had Lab McConkey, Malik Neighbors, Mike Evans, and who else I had? All of them hit. All of them hit. It was
Joe Flacco threw some bad picks in this game too.
Yeah.
And, but hey, Taylor was playing good too. He had a really good game in this game too. Malik Neighbors was amazing in this game, man.
Did you see the Pat McAfee thing on the Colts? Where he went off on the Colts?
No, I didn't see that.
Hey, when you get a chance, look up Pat McAfee on Twitter, bro. He went on a whole rant on the Colts and how much this organization has just been terrible. Players that missing meetings, missing therapy, and not giving a fuck. Yeah, he's like he don't want to even. He wants to sell his season tickets and shit. Like he's bad.
It's that
But
bad.
yeah, man, Colts. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. That was
Do you
embarrassing.
think it'd have been a different story had what's the name played?
Anthony Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
No, because he's been inconsistent to say the least. Shit, the score could have been worse. They could only score 20 points. At the end of the day, I think Drew Lock. I think Drew Lock just had the game of his life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Neighbors looked like the Malik Neighbors before he started getting dinged up a little bit. He looked very explosive. Tracy Jr. looked very explosive. They have pieces on that offensive line, and that offense total. And it's just like you just know they need a quarterback. And this is the same situation where we went as the Raiders last week. Giants fans are in the same predicament where it's just like, why are we winning meaningless games when we have the number 1, number 2 pick on lock? Why are we winning it? And it's like, yeah, we're not mad at players. We're not mad at the coaches. Yeah, it's frustrating, but yeah, those guys are playing for jobs. Those guys have been practicing all week. They're trying to win. We get it. We're not mad at y'all. So please don't think that. We're mad at the organizations that give y'all the opportunity to win these games. Like, yo, sit Brock Bowers out. Yo, thank God they didn't sit Malik Neighbors out, but sit these players out. Like, there's a bigger objective here, which is to get a number 1 pick and get a top quarterback. So now you're about to play the Eagles next week. Why in the hell would the Eagles want to beat y'all? They should want y'all to win the game. So you drop to the 10th because you know what? It's going to be more beneficial to them that you don't get the quarterback that you want, and it make it easier for them because obviously we all expect the Cowboys to play better next year when they get Dak Prescott back, and maybe Jerry Jones might see the light of day and they might actually do something in free agency. But if I'm the Eagles, I want the Giants to win. I might just kneel it down every fucking down so y'all can get the ball. Go for it on 4th down in our own 20 and shit. Like if I'm the Eagles, fuck it. Well, we got to lose. We're number 2.
Yeah. Speaking of Cowboys, they lost to the Eagles 41-7. Kenny Pickett had started. He actually looked really good in this game before he had went down with an injury. Saquon was amazing in this game. Devontae Smith, he had a really good game. A.J. Brown had a touchdown too. Hey, man, the Eagles are rolling. And to me right now, they look outside of the Vikings, I would say the Eagles look the best going into the playoffs on the NFC side. So Detroit is going to be interesting to see how they look tonight. But right now, the Eagles and the Vikings look the most dangerous in the NFC right now.
Yeah, Eagles look really good. Obviously, the main question is hopefully they can get Jalen Hurts back. Obviously, he's going to have – obviously, we don't expect him to play this coming week. But, defensively, they're clicking on cylinders. Like, I'm not mad. Like, Cowboys look – they've been playing really well these last couple weeks. But, they don't – they didn't have CeeDee Lamb. You don't have Dak Prescott. It's getting to the point where it's just like, all right, what are we playing for? Like, let's go ahead and just chalk the season up. Let's get ready for the draft. Let's get ready for the offseason. Let's get everybody healthy and refocus on the new season. So, it's not much really to say, So, shout out to Saquon for getting 2,000. I think that's the more important story. And I don't expect him to play next week, but, it's an amazing story. He's definitely going to be the offensive player of the year. Now, will he get Ricky MVP votes? I think he can get a couple. I don't think he'll win, but
yeah,
he get a couple first place votes, though. for what he's
Yeah,
done.
for sure. Here's your question. I know it's only small sample size, but do you feel a little different about Kenny Pickett?
I don't think he's a franchise quarterback. No,
Okay.
I think he's good. I think he's good for backup purposes, but let's realize the team that he's around. Like, do you think he's going to uplift the Tennessee Titans?
No, I don't think he's like that. But is it a Sam Darnold? And I'm not trying to pin everybody as Sam Darnold, but is it a
Oh,
Sam
like he
Darnold
had the right situation
situation?
around him.
If he's in the right situation, like there's only a few quarterbacks we could say are team elevators: Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, possibly Joe Burrows, and a few others, Lamar Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Like those guys can elevate, low level talent and at least get them to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? But most of the rest of the quarterbacks, you need everything to be right around them.
No, yeah, I understand.
Like,
Like,
like if Kenny Pickett goes and signs with the Rams to sit behind Stafford, and then Sean McVay says, "I'm going to you're going to be the next quarterback after Matthew leaves."
no, like I said, I wouldn't be mad. Like, obviously, like in the situation, like let's say hypothetically the 49ers might be interested. You know what I mean? Like they don't got a top pick. They don't really have too much faith in Brock Purdy. Like they still trust him, but at the same time, you sign Kenny Pickett to be the backup, and if things don't work out, then you play him. Yeah, I think he would be better. I think he's just as mobile as Brock Purdy. He has a better arm than Brock Purdy. So yeah, I think I could see some situation like that where it's like in a perfect situation. Like let's say Jalen Hurts gets hurt. I think the Eagles should definitely be confident. Now he does have injury problems. I think his body is brittle at this point because every hit he gets, he's damn near in pain. But I mean, that's just a situation we saw with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I said, now, do I think if he went to the New York Giants or something, do I think that would change fortune?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't say no because we do see Sam Darnold there, but I said it has to be the right situation. Like maybe the Seattle Seahawks may look into it. I said San Francisco 49ers, maybe the Arizona Cardinals, maybe my Raiders, maybe they might look into a situation like that. The New Orleans Saints, like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously teams who aren't in a position to get top picks, maybe that's a situation where you look at, because I would assume with everything that Sam Darnold would probably get franchised by the Minnesota Vikings. I think that's probably going to happen. So you would think maybe Kenny Pickett, or maybe depending on how Carson Wentz plays, will be the top, free agency quarterbacks to potentially get picked up, along with Russell Wilson, maybe a Kirk Cousins if he can get his confidence back in his legs and stuff like that. There's going to be quarterbacks out there, but it's got to be the right spot though.
Right. The Buccaneers put the beats on the Panthers. The Panthers had went up a couple scores in the beginning, but then the Buccaneers just took over. It was not close. Panthers, I don't know where you go from here. They haven't looked good the past 2 weeks. And they've been getting mud stomped the past few weeks too. But the Buccaneers got to be feeling good, man. Baker Mayfield has been playing well. The week before they didn't feel good because they lost that game, but they got to feel good about this game. They went in there, handled business. They have a chance to still win this division. And Bucky Irvin looked good. Like I said, Baker Mayfield looked good. Mike Evans still continues to look like a Hall of Famer out there. And the defense actually played pretty well. I know it's the Panthers. The defense played pretty well. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Buccaneers look in the play going into that first round. Offensively, I think they can hang with a lot of teams, but it's just about this defense, what this defense can do.
No, yeah. Speaking on the Panthers real quick, like I hope they keep Adam Thielen for Bryce Young. I really do hope they keep him for sure. Panthers will be fine. I'm really liking what Bryce Young has been looking. So I know they only scored 14, but they met up against a buzzsaw. As far as Tampa Bay, man, they're the most roller coaster team ever, bro. Like the highs are great highs, but then they have some real lows, man. They're not really consistent at anything. You just don't know what Buccaneers team you're going to get. Like if you get a clicking Buccaneers team, I think they could beat anybody. Low key, you have weapons all across that board. That defense plays fine, especially when they have a lead. They play really, really dominant. But then you have moments where they just look pathetic and they can't do anything and they lose to teams that they shouldn't lose. So I don't know. They're a week to week type of team. I just don't know what you're going to get with them in the playoffs. Could they surprise somebody? Yeah, for sure. But it just all depends on what you're gonna get. But it's hard to trust this team, man. They're just too much on them, too much of a roller coaster style team.
I agree. I agree. All right, man. I mean, only thing I want to talk about Jaguars. Shout out to Brian Thomas Jr. Man,
Yes, sir. Yes,
he
sir.
is a freaking star. That kid is a star, and they add some more on his defense. Maybe get what's his name, the Will Johnson uh, from Michigan, or get the defensive end. What's his name from Georgia to get some edge pressure over there. And maybe you're probably gonna get a new head coach, definitely for Jacksonville, and maybe you can get the best out of Sunshine because you already signed him to the contract. But you got a star in Brian Thomas Jr. Hopefully, Calvin Ridley can get back to form to match with Brian Thomas Jr. and Evan Ingram. They got the offense. You know what I'm saying? It's just that defense got to get a little bit better, but still, Brian Thomas Jr. is a star.
No, I agree with you 100%. Maybe this could be a Pete Carroll situation. Warmer weather might be good for his old bones. You know what I mean? He might be a good thing for Trevor Lawrence and all that. Yeah. Obviously, they still need to figure out what they want to do with Travis Etienne and Bigsby and all that. But I agree with you. I think Will Johnson should be the answer for this team. I think they do need a solid cornerback. I think Will Johnson would definitely be one of the best ones in the draft, minus Travis Hunter. But yeah, I agree with you as far as like who to pick. As far as the Tennessee Titans, man, like look, man, I think they're number 2 right now as far as like the draft. So
Nick Cam Ward.
Sure, yeah. It seems like the Tennessee Titans are going to be your situation. Funny thing about the Giants too, I have a feeling John Morris like, yo, we got to win because I do not want a black man to run my quarterback. I was thinking about that shit too, but that's neither here or there. But anyways, look, man, Tennessee, man, y'all gonna get a top quarterback. Obviously, Will Levis isn't gonna be too happy about that, but who cares? Let him go. At the end of the day, you got 2 prominent quarterbacks that are ready. Even if you want to try to convince yourself with maybe a Carson Beck or a Jackson Dart or something like that, you'll have the opportunity where you can potentially trade back if you want to do that. But you got two stud quarterbacks right there ready to go. So, yeah, man, it's just is what it is. Jacksonville, yeah, I think it's more so with them who their head coach is going to be to try to get the best out of Trevor Lawrence. I don't think Ben Johnson would want this job, but you got pieces there. You got Trevor Lawrence. You got a top receiver. You got one of the top backs. Maybe he might consider this Jags job. I don't know. You have an owner that would be willing to do anything. Like he's going to be out of sight, out of mind. Ben Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he might consider it because when you look at it, people will think like the Jags job is terrible, but you have a quarterback. We've seen Trevor Lawrence be great. We've seen it. You find that with him again, yes. You have a star young wide receiver. You're in a location that is weather-wise great in a sense, minus a couple rainfalls here and there. Right. You may not have the strongest fan base, but you have an owner that's going to be out your way, who will financially back you and support you if he really believes in you. Right. I think the Jags job ain't as bad as people think, low key.
I don't think it's that bad either.
I don't think that's bad. You know what I mean? I don't think it's bad. I don't deal, but if you can get what you can out of him, then and Ben Johnson, I think he could. I think he can get the excitement out of Trevor Lawrence again. You never know.
If you can get Trevor Lawrence to be a top 10 quarterback, and more so like in that 7 to 10 range, if you can get him to be that with Brian Thomas Jr., and you could get some few pieces on this defense, whether it be draft or free agency, I think Jacksonville will be all right. Because it's not like this division.
They just came from being in the playoffs, so it's just like
I don't think this division is that like we see what Houston is, and it'll be interesting to see what Houston looks like going forward. Yeah. Because there's not going to be no Stephon Diggs. I think Diggs is gone.
No, he's gone.
I think he'll probably go to the Cowboys.
Tank Dell won't be there next year.
Tank Dell's probably not going to play all 2025 because he has way too many surgeries on that.
He's not. Are you going to get another Joe Mixon year like you did as far as health wise?
Exactly.
And they solidify this offensive line. Sooner or later, CJ Stroud is going to be in contract negotiations where he's going to take a big lump of that salary cap space. So, yeah, man, it's going to get interesting for that division. Like, it's up for grabs, man.
In Tennessee, like we just said, they're going to be in rebuild mode with Cam Ward. Now, Cam Ward could be Jaden Daniels. We never know. You know what I'm saying? Like,
or Shador, whatever.
One of them could have a Jaden Daniels year, and Tennessee's in the playoffs. But We don't know that yet because we don't even see the piece. I mean, they do have Calvin Ridley, and ever since D Hop has left, Calvin Ridley has woke up.
Yeah, even Westbrook. I love
Yeah.
their tight end,
Yeah.
O'Connell.
Yeah.
Like
he's
you
good.
have some good running backs with
Tajir
Pollard,
Spears, he's nice.
Tajay Spears, and them. Like they have talent on that squad. They have a couple pieces on the defensive side
Oh,
too.
their defensive line is nasty.
Yeah, so it's just like, hey man, like some of these jobs aren't as bad as like a lot of people think they are. Like even the Raiders job, like, I don't think it's bad. Like we have salary cap space. I hate to keep going back to
You probably about to have the best tight end in the league, but
the best tight end in the league.
Jacoby Myers is a high end number 2, low end number 1.
Yeah, we have over $120 million in cap space, something like that. Like, so yeah, like a lot of these jobs aren't as bad as they may put out to be. And you gotta look at the owner. I think the owner situation is big too. Like I'm like the Tennessee Titans or owner. I don't know who the owner is, but you don't really hear too much of him in the headlines or being in the way or being malcontent as far as like in the sense of being impatient. Mark Davis is the same way. I know lately he's been kind of more impatient. I think it's just more of the pressures of being in Las Vegas. And now that you got Tom Brady, if Tom Brady wasn't coming in, I think AP will probably still be the coach. But with Tom Brady coming in, I think it's more likely that Mike Vrabel will probably be our head coach. But and then the Jags, look, he's not gonna bother you, bro. That's the only thing you gotta worry about is you're gonna have to play 2, maybe 3 games now in London. But
I had to show up on AEW.
Yeah, maybe. You know what I mean? So, but besides that, they're gonna leave you alone. They will leave you alone. So
they definitely.
I said Ben Johnson. He has options. I think he has some options.
Yeah, he does.
I think
Chicago's the worst job. Chicago's the worst job right now.
And the Giants. And the Giants. I think the Giants are like talent wise. You do have offensive talent, but as far as like the owner, I don't know, man. Now, low key, no. Know who the worst job is? The Jets.
Panthers.
The Jets is the worst job.
Jets and the Panthers are probably the worst.
Sorry. I think the Panthers are. I'm not a fan of the owner, but Tepper hasn't really been too much of a fan this year. So I think it's looking better. The Jets are the worst, bro. They're in the worst position right now.
Woody Johnson is terrible. He needs to sell that team.
Yeah,
or do whatever. Give it to his brother. Or that's what they were saying.
Yeah, they were way better when he was off in Dublin or wherever he was, being an ambassador, and had his brother being involved. You know what I mean? So made more ideology.
The Dolphins beat the Browns 20-3. Look, man, I know Tua didn't play this game or whatever, but do we really want the Dolphins to make the playoffs?
No, we do not.
Do we really want?
We want either the Broncos or the Bengals.
Right.
One of the two. That's 1A, 1B, man.
Yeah, man.
I'll watch either one. I'm not watching the Dolphins. I don't want that.
They're gonna be one and done. I'm out of here.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If the Broncos lose, let's say look, if the Bengals win and the Broncos lose, well, the Dolphins will play the first week. The Dolphins, they're gonna find a way to make the Dolphins lose that game. I'm sorry. They're gonna find a way, bro. They're making the call, bro. Who they play next week? The Jets. Yeah, they're gonna make the call, bro. They're gonna have Aaron Rodgers look like Packers Aaron Rodgers, bro, next week. Dolphins are not winning this game, bro. NFL don't want to see that shit. No one wants to see that shit. Sorry, Mondale. No one wants to watch your Dolphins, bro. Sorry, brother. Nah.
Yeah,
I know y'all got Tyreek Hill and all that, but
nah, we won't see that. The Vikings beat the Packers 27-25. It was mostly the Vikings most of this game. They dominated most of this game. It wasn't until the fourth quarter until Jordan Love and them started getting things going. And this has kind of been the interesting thing about the Packers in these big games is like they start slow. And then the fourth quarter, they rally and with a comeback, and it's just be a little bit too late for them to just get it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened in this game. They got going. They got a little bit of momentum going into the fourth quarter, and then it was just a little bit too late. Sam Darnold made a couple more plays in that fourth quarter to run the clock out and win the game. It was a good game in the fourth quarter, but mostly the Vikings dominated this game. And the Packers, it's interesting, offensively, they got weapons. It's just like you said, we both said, they don't have a true number one guy, a go-to guy to where you see the difference between the Vikings and the Packers. When I got to get it, 18's getting the ball.
Yeah.
And that's what happened in that game. 18, you getting the ball.
Even Addison, though. Addison's way better.
Too. He is. He'd be the number one on the Packers right now.
Yeah, he would be. Yeah.
He would be the number one. So it's just the Packers, I don't know, maybe they're a year away. Maybe they need to go get that number one wide receiver. That might be the talk if they get bounced in the playoffs. Um, that they need a true number one wide receiver. I know Jair Alexander hasn't played, and
My man ain't never suiting up, bro.
I
I'm so
know,
tired of hearing my man.
I
I'm
know.
so tired of hearing whether he gonna play or not, bro. He ain't playing, bro. Sorry,
It just, I don't know, man. They
he ain't
might need
playing
to
in that
go.
game.
They need to go get some more cornerback help because Jair. They might need to think about getting off of Jair and just go get somebody else. But
Nah, get off
um,
him, but yeah, they're gonna have to find somebody that's more capable. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Somebody who's healthier because that's his problem. He's a very good corner. He's just his health.
Yeah.
But the Vikings, they've been rolling. They were one of the hottest teams going into the playoffs. Sam Darnold looks amazing. He might be comeback player of the year. Um, and yeah, Vikings, they look like they're a formidable opponent. The next Sunday game is going to be very, very interesting to see the Vikings and the Lions for sure. Because if everything rolls to Minnesota, it'll be interesting.
If everything rolls through Minnesota, they're going to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna be dead ass honest.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
I know I've slowly come on every week.
Mhm.
Like, yo, this team is 9-2, 10-2. Like, they don't look good. I'm sorry, man. This is the best team in the NFC. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah,
They're the best team in the NFC.
I'm not
bro.
mad at you saying
I'm
that.
sorry, bro. Like, I think they're gonna go into Detroit and beat Detroit, especially with all the injuries. Now, if Detroit wasn't as hurt as they were, I would pick Detroit. But Detroit got all these injuries. Minnesota is. Sam Darnold should get MVP consideration, bro. He really should, man. I'm not saying he should win it, but he should definitely be at least top 5, man. He's done everything to deserve what he's getting. I'm happy for him. He's been through a lot of different situations that didn't look promising, but he finally found a home. I find it hard to believe that the Vikings moving off of Sam Darnold for JJ McCarthy. I think it's good for them. Put him on a franchise tag, give him his $40 million, which he deserves. Big payday. Obviously, I think he wants a long-term contract, but give him the 40, 45 million, whatever the cap hit may be, and have JJ McCarthy sit out another year. Obviously, he's coming off a rehab with a knee injury, gives him more time, all that. So I think that'd be good for him. So this defense is one of the better ones. Brian Flores should get a head coach.
Hey, let me ask you something, Mal. Guess who's balling for that defense? Dallas Turner. You know who should have drafted him? Atlanta.
Yep. Yeah, that's a fact. But they got Michael Penix though, which we saw Michael Penix in play, which we're going to talk about next game. So I get it, but hey, man, the Minnesota Vikings are nasty. As I said, minus the fourth quarter, I think this was all Minnesota. It wasn't even close. Packers came on late, but this is Minnesota's team, man. I'm super excited to watch next week. That's why I'm very intrigued with what Detroit does tonight, because it's like you got to gear up for that. That's a heated divisional battle for the number 1 seed. And if you lose, you could potentially be a 14-win team going on the road. That is insane. That is insane. Everybody bitching and complaining about the college football playoff. No, you should be bitching and complaining about this. Reseed the NFL playoffs, bro. There is no reason why any two of those teams should be on the road, especially in the NFL, and you both win 13 to 14 games. That is insane. Both of these teams should get home games, bro. That is insane. That is insane. Especially in the NFL. It's way harder in the NFL than it is college football to get 13, 14 wins.
Yeah, for sure. Sunday night football, we had the Commanders facing the Falcons. The Commanders won 30 to 24 in OT. Jaden Daniels was amazing in this game, and for the better part of this game, they pretty much had dominated this game. But the Falcons put a comeback together in the fourth quarter. Michael Penix, he had one bad interception, but other than that, he played a really clean game. He looks like he has mass potential. Some of the throws he was making last night was NFL top level throws, and once he gets real comfortable in this offense, he's going to be something to reckon with in this Falcons team. But Jaden Daniels was just too much, man. In that overtime win, and one thing you gotta know: always pick tails.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, what? Yes. I'm like, man,
Always pick
big
tails.
tails, bro. That
When
shit
he
hits
said
like
heads, I said, "Oh, this game, Commanders
over,
won."
dog, over,
And you
man.
just saw it, man.
I said the same shit when I heard. I was like, heads. Nah, this motherfucker. I would have slapped him upside the head, boy, if I was
Yeah.
say
So
head.
yeah, and Jaden Daniels put together a great drive. He marched down the field, hit Ertz in the end zone, and this is a game where Terry McLaurin had like what, 7 catches, 1 yard or something like that. Um,
Some drops too. He could have had
yeah,
better numbers. But
yeah. So this wasn't even Terry's best game, and but yeah, shout out to the Commanders, man. You know, they look like a good team for the future. As far as their playoff, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they did spoil somebody's playoffs, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they look like a team that's their first year in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? As far as the Falcons go, they still have a chance to win this division, but I do think that they are missing some things. Offensively, they got some pieces. Drake London, he had a pretty good game. Kyle Pitts, he's so up and down. Like you see the potential. We've been seeing the potential with Kyle Pitts, but it's just you're hearing rumblings that he's not working as hard as he should, and that's something that he might have to change going into the off season for sure. But they got pieces. Darnell Mooney, he's had his best season, and Bijan Robinson is one of the best running backs in the league. So. Yeah, man. The Falcons, they still have chance to make win that division and get into the playoffs, but I think they're a one and done team.
yeah, no, the Falcons found them one with Michael Penix, so that means they're gonna move off of Kirk Cousins. You got Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts finally, as you said, finally showed up. So yeah, I've heard the same thing about as far as like his work ethic. Maybe he might get more motivated knowing that he actually has a passer that can actually get him the ball. Maybe it might have been more of a frustration type of thing, but look, man, they'll be fine. In future, they'll be fine. Obviously, Penix and his health is always key, but they look good. As far as the Commanders, man, Jaden Daniels, man, he's an amazing quarterback. I wish he things could have went different as far as like who he went to, but hey, man, Commanders got them one, man. They're solid. I really like Chris Rodriguez, the backup behind Brian Thomas. He had a couple big runs, especially one of the touchdowns that was really key. Marcus Lattimore is kind of like in the same boat as Jair, where it's just like two talented cornerbacks, but they just can't stay healthy. You could tell they missed Marcus Lattimore yesterday because homie that replaced him just kept getting picked on the whole game.
He was cooked.
He was getting cooked. So
Davis, that's his name. Davis, the Mr. 30. He gonna
yeah, 30, yeah. So
he gonna do it.
Yeah, he was getting cooked, bro. So I'm gonna be honest with you. If the Commanders don't have Marcus Lattimore in the playoffs, they're not going to win the game. Obviously, you'll need a big time Jaden Daniels game. Now, obviously, if it's close and they have the last possession, I think I'm going to take Jaden Daniels to win that game. But Marcus Lattimore is going to be key if they want to have any chance of having any kind of run in the playoffs, because without him, you could just see the back end of that defense is just not good at all, man. They're definitely going to need to key in on some cornerbacks in the off season. So, but yeah, man, should be. I'm glad they make the playoffs though, because I think Jaden Daniels and this Commanders team deserves to get the spotlight, and it's going to be exciting. No matter what game they're in, they're always going to put on an exciting game, whether they win or lose, man. So it should be. It's good for the NFL. I know they smile when they won. So.
Who's your best team and best player?
So best team and best player. I'm gonna go with let's see. Who I got? So best team. I'm with the Ravens, man. Very dominant performance, man. Lamar Jackson played really good. As far as best player, I went with Saquon, getting over 2,000 yards, man. I had to give him a shout out, so I'm gonna go with Saquon.
The best player, I'm gonna go with Joe Burrow. He had an amazing game. I can't discount it. As far as best team of the week, I'll go with Buffalo Bills. They made the Jets look terrible. It was just bad. Yeah. So, who's your worst team and worst player?
Jets, 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 and Aaron Rodgers. Pretty bad.
Yeah, my worst team, I'm gonna go with the Houston Texans. 2 points, that's bad. And then yeah, I'm with you. Aaron Rodgers is the worst player this week. He was terrible. All right, man. That was that. Now, hold on. Now, I know we usually end it off on that, but before we get up out of here, because I know my memo got to leave. we got to do the best of the year.
Yeah.
And we're going into 2025, so we're giving our list of best, what we feel are best sports moments, and there's a little bit of moments for ourselves. But I'm gonna let Maul kick this one off first, and then I'll go.
Okay, so we did a little list. So for my best album, I kind of did two. I kind of did both. I had a rap and R&B, just me, because I love music. I know you do too.
Hmm.
Um, it was kind of hard between Kendrick's GNX because I'm really really loving that album, but I went with Larry Jones doing it for me for my best hip hop album. I did it with that R&B. I went with Isaiah Falls, Drugs and Lullaby. Love that album. Best song, I did Cal Banks, Smino, and Buddy. How about your feelings? That was my favorite song of the whole year. Best movie, Long Legs. Best movie, um, to me wasn't even close, man. That movie was great. I thought Nicolas Cage did an amazing job playing the character he was in. Best sports moments is a tie. It was pretty hard for me. I went with Dodgers and Yankees game one. I was there in LA when that happened. The atmosphere in that was crazy. I was at a Laker game, but that moment was crazy. And Steph Curry's Olympic gold medal game against France. Those two are 1A.2. So that was that. Best video game for me this year was Silent Hill 2. Best male athlete, I went with Shohei Otani. He played amazing this whole year, especially some of the records that he broke. I went with Shohei. Best female athlete, I went with my girl Asia Wilson. She had an unbelievable year this year, breaking some records. Obviously, the Aces didn't win, but overall, Asia Wilson had a great year. As far as best moment for myself, I think the trip to Cancun because I did a lot of self reflecting, something I really needed. Was probably the best thing that happened to me this year. Minus get my girlfriend and all that, shout out to her. And then obviously the best Cris and Mal moment for me was our 100th episode. Just shows the accomplishment that we had, all the guests that we had on that 100th episode. Shout out to everybody, Miss Ball and D, everybody that showed up. Hopefully y'all have a great year. Happy New Year's to y'all. Everybody that's been a part of the show. Also my man Chris, man. I want to give a shout out to him, man. I said he's one of the big proponents why this whole Cris and Mal thing has gotten established. Me and him both had conversations. He brought it up, and I was like, I'm down to do it. So, my man, all love to my brother over here, man. We brothers for life, man, especially with everything that's been going on, man. So I'm blessed to have you in my life, my man. You have definitely motivated me to progress and be better at myself. So I definitely want to show you some love, man, and shout you out, my brother.
Right on, man. I appreciate that, brother. Likewise, likewise. Uh, okay, so best album, I went with. I'm probably prisoner of the moment, but I've been bumping this album every day. Gen X is,
Yeah, Gen X is fire. It's
I
fire.
will. For myself, my honorable mention is the Eminem album, but that's just for myself.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
but because I was bumping the hell out of that album too. But the Gen X, I might be prisoner at the moment. But I gotta go. R&B wise, I'm gonna go with Bryson Tiller. I'm gonna
I'm
go with
not mad.
Bryson
Bryson
Tiller.
Tiller was fire. Bryson
Yeah,
Tiller.
I'm gonna go with Bryson Tiller. Number two, I gotta go with Not Like Us. How can you not like that song?
I feel you.
Just that
I feel
was
you.
the song of the year, man. Like
It was. It
I
was.
agree with your movie of the year. I went with Long Legs too. I thought that was the movie of the year because I had to really think about it, and I was like, yeah, that movie kind of it was
Good,
good.
man.
It
That was
was
good. It
good.
was a good movie, man.
It was
I enjoyed
good. I wasn't expecting that ending like that. I was like, okay, I like this.
it.
And I agree with you. Number four, the Steph Curry Olympic Finals against France. His performance, especially in that last game, he was the reason why they won
Yeah,
gold. So
yeah, for sure.
I gotta give it to Steph. Now the video game here is kind of weird because
I
I
feel
had
you.
to break it up in pieces.
Yeah, I
Because
feel you. I feel you.
in the beginning of the year, it was Hell Divers 2 all
It
day.
was. It was. It was. No cap. It was.
It was Hell Divers 2. Then, like in the summertime, like in the middle, I went with NCAA college football because we was on that heavy.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at that. I'm not
and
mad.
and I know a lot of people have their complaints about this game, but I think the game was fun as shit. I got
What, college
undisputed.
football?
I got undisputed. I got undisputed.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
undisputed.
Yeah, I got undisputed. I know it has its issues, but I think it's fun.
Good.
It's a
It
good time.
has a lot of issues,
You
man.
get in there, you know what I'm saying? Hey, it is what it is. I like undisputed. So that was that. Number six, athlete of the year. I'm gonna go with Saquon Barkley. Man. For what
Okay.
he's doing with the Eagles, man, getting 2,000 yards, and just turning that Eagles franchise around, because we had our questions about the Eagles and Nick Sirianni and that team. And he's one of the sole reasons why that team is where they're at, because of him.
Yeah,
So
I'm in
shout out
that.
to Saquon.
Yep.
I agree with you. Athlete Woman of the Year is Asia Wilson. I don't think she gets the props that she deserves. Um, I think she's the best female basketball player in the world right now, bar none. There's some great ones, and there's some great ones coming up. But right now, I think she's the best.
Oh, you know who else I got? Shout out Katie Ledecky, swimming
Yeah,
Olympics.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Most definitely.
Shout
She
out to her too.
deserves her flowers too. And then number 8, my best moment, moving in with my lady. You know what I'm saying? I made that, in April. Me and her moved in together. So it's been, we had our ups and downs, but we good. You know what I'm saying? We good. It's been good. And then I agree with you. Number 9, our 100th episode, man. We accomplished a feat, you know what I'm saying? Getting to 100 episodes. Doing a podcast is not easy at all. Anybody who's listening to this who does a podcast, they understand that getting stuff together, getting information together, trying to put together a show for that's entertaining for the people and they want to listen to you talk. And it's so oversaturated with podcasts in the world now that everybody has a podcast nowadays. Yeah, man, getting 100 episode was a great feat for us, and we're gonna get our 200 episode in 2025. So
Quick too. It's coming up quick.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, and like I said, shout out. I feel the same way. Likewise to you, my brother. Our relationship has grown since we, come together and collabed on this podcast. You know what I'm saying? We always we usually have like minded. We
Yeah, we do.
disagree on
We
we
do.
disagree on some certain things here and there, but other than that, man, we agree on a lot of shit. And you know what I'm saying? So you're always gonna be my brother for sure. You know
No
what I'm
doubt.
saying? All
No
day.
doubt, man. Appreciate you, my brother.
And to all the listeners out there, I appreciate y'all too
Yeah.
for listening to you. Whether you bump it, jump in the lives, all the guests that have come on, like you said, Miss Ball and D, Show,
Yeah.
everybody, Boogie when he came on the show this year,
Yeah. Absolutely.
just everybody who's came on to show and all the people that be in the comment sections, from Mark to Stan to
Yes.
everybody, you know what I'm saying,
Yes.
they come in and just leave their comments and talk about these topics with us, man. We appreciate y'all, man. And everybody who listens on the playback, you may not comment or whatever, but you listen to us. We appreciate y'all too, for sure.
Nah, for real, man. It's not just our journey, man. It's all y'all's journey too, man. Everybody that
Mhm.
comes supports this show, man. It's all love, man. I truly appreciate every single one of y'all, whether it's just listening for 10 minutes, 2 seconds, commenting, anything, buy the shirt, support any of our
Mhm.
ambassadors or whatever that we have as far as like, collaborations and stuff like that. So, hey, man, I appreciate every single one of y'all, man. I said, it's not just our ride, it's y'all ride too, because without y'all, we would not be doing this. Absolutely. You know what I mean? We're excited to see the growth of this podcast and where it could potentially go, man. We just want to be able to talk our shit, you know what I mean? Enjoy the sports that we watch, give our opinions, listen to y'all's opinions. I love talking about sports, no matter who it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether we disagree or not. Now, some of the things may be heated, but it's all love at the end of the day because it's just sports, man. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man, I want to see more people comment in the section. Hit us up. As Chris says every week, man, hit us up in our Twitter feeds or our Instagrams or on the show live, or leave comments on our YouTubes or whatever, Twitch pages or whatever the case may be, man. We would love to interact with everybody because I would love to ever hear everybody's opinion, man. You know what I mean? It's not just his opinion. We want to hear y'all's opinion. Y'all are fans of sports and music and entertainment and all that, man. Let us know, man. If there's something you always want to talk about, please do. Please do. So much love to everybody that's involved, man, for real.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like they announcing the coaching staff for UNLV, and Keem Davis, he is staying as the DB
Oh,
coach.
good. Yeah, hopefully,
We're gonna try to get him on in 2025. He's supposed to come
man.
on.
Hey, yo, man, RIP to crack streams and mesh streams. Seems like they shut those down, man. So, yeah, man. So RIP to them, man. Hey, man, it was a good run for y'all, man. You know what I'm saying?
I saw a funny skit on the dude was like in the NFL. He was like 5 years from now, and he was like, "Yeah, man, we gotta get on this Charmin app and watch these two teams." He said, "Yeah, we gotta get on the Shells app and watch it on a little tiny TV at the gas station." I had to, good thing I got there early.
Not for real, man. Sooner or later, man. I'm telling you, bro. Sooner or later, man, they gonna put that Super Bowl behind a paywall like a pay per view.
He was like, "You got to fly to Fenway and watch it on the jumbotron for the Super Bowl."
Facts, bro. Facts, bro. We ain't got
He
a
was,
Nintendo Switch. You gotta watch it on that bitch. You know what I'm saying?
he
Some
was
wild
like,
shit.
"How are we gonna watch it?" And they said,
Crazy, crazy.
"Yeah." He was like, "Stream East." Yeah, that's right. We gotta go on Stream East.
Stream me. So see how long that lasts.
Yeah, no, right. All right, man. What's your flowers of the week, man?
Man, so my flowers of the week, I got quick two. First I want to give congratulations to all the Hall of Fame NFL finalists that were announced the other day. Congratulations to all y'all. I know they're still in the process of picking the final few that will get the bust and all that, but for you guys to make it to this point, I think it should be recognized. So congratulations to all you guys. Everybody that is on this list deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, that's for sure. And then obviously I want to sadly say, give flowers to Greg Gumbel. We saw the passing of him over the weekend. You know, he's been a big proponent to sports casting. You know, he was on ESPN. You know, he did March Madness. You know, did some Super Bowls and CBS and all that. So, want to send out prayers to his family, his wife, his kids, everybody that was associated with him. Hopefully, he's resting easy up in heaven. Tell my grandmother I said hello, and best wishes to him and his family.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm gonna piggyback off of that. I just want to give my flowers to everybody who's passed away this year. Um,
Yeah.
all those, icons and legends and people that we all hold dearly into our hearts, and we grew up on, or whether, whatever they did, whether it be sports, music, movies. Just want to show my flowers and appreciation to those people, man, that have passed away, man.
Yeah.
Your impact is still on this earth, and we definitely appreciate you for sure, for sure.
100%, 100%, man. Yeah,
And
people we know too. Yeah, people we
yeah,
know.
yeah,
That's
yeah, most definitely, most definitely.
Mhm.
Family members, friends, that may have passed away. We want to give you flowers too, man. You're definitely missed. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
They're not forgotten.
yes.
Where is it? Oh man,
Another quick set too. First goes to the Kings organization. I know we talked about it a little bit earlier, especially how they handled the Mike Brown situation. I think pretty not professional at all. So they definitely get held on of the week. And then number two, everybody who was upset with Cam Ward not playing in the second half, like, come on, man. What are we doing, man? It's a bowl game that's meaningless. He has bigger things to go involved. I was surprised he even played in this game. So the fact that he even did, I think we should just recognize that. You know what I mean? And he played a hell of a game. There was nothing else for him to prove in this game. I get it; it was a close game. They could have won it, but at the end of the day, it gives other people who didn't have the opportunity to play all season to actually have a chance and play for something meaningful. So I think everybody that's shitting on Cam Ward I think it's crazy, man. Like, leave him alone, man. It's not.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. My hell no goes to this couple. We're finding out more. This woman who delivered a pizza with her boyfriend. They delivered a pizza to a couple in a hotel room. End up busting into the hotel room, holding the boyfriend at gunpoint, um, and I think the daughter too. And then the lady end up stabbing the girlfriend like 14 times. They said that she was like in a frenzy or whatever, and they was trying to get money from them, like more tip money, and they tried to give them everything they had. And yeah, man, you know, this just shows you how disgusting this world is, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
pizza delivery people stabbing people for more tip money. It's like it ain't that serious. Like, so chill out there, and hopefully in 2025 you guys can be better than this. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the lady. She's still alive. She's not, she just had to get like 200 staples, but she's still alive, and thank God that she's still alive. But this type of stuff is ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. Bye. You get your goddamn ugly ass on. Oh my.
All right, good people. We're gonna do a little something because Jamal got to get up out of here. Just remember, you know what I'm saying, to follow us. Follow the YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel, get our merch, get all that good stuff, man. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Our t-shirts, all of our links, they're all in our social medias,
Mhm.
apps. Shout out to Magnet Sports Drink. Go ahead and get you some Magnet Sports Drink. Use our promo code Cris and Mal,
Yeah.
$50 or $5 off. And also till tomorrow, actually, or is it tomorrow? Till the first. Our shirts are 20% off. So
Yeah.
go get our shirts, man.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
said,
Please.
links and all social media platforms. And yeah, man, like I said, follow us, subscribe to the channel. And like I said, we appreciate y'all for continue to rock with us continuously in 2025. We got some good things coming. We got some more guests we're gonna bring on the show to boost her up on this show, man. And yeah, man, we look forward to 2025 for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So until we'll be back Wednesday
Mhm.
night, to start the new year off for Takeover Wednesdays. But until then, have a good new year. Be safe out there.
Sir.
We out.
Happy New Year.